off the back of some unbelievable shots from the rest of the squad.
Yeah. That was pretty big. I think the idea for Influence Rage was to flex out in third party. That I don't think they realized that Virtus Pro had actually gotten as far north as they had.
Yeah.
So they were flexing out to try and take them down, right? So for Federal, for Law, they were trying to create that line, get a couple more elims on board. But a brilliant response, as you said, from Influence Rage when Law came under fire.
Yes. Sorry. नेट अचानक से डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था मेरा, इसलिए ऐसा हो गया कि स्ट्रीम रुक गई। भी वापस आ गया मैं। टेंशन मत लो, अपन स्क्रीन पे आ जाते फटाफट। मैच बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। टीआर अभी भी जिंदा है, लेकिन मैं जैसे बोला उनका एक बंदा Damn. We are at 94 subscribers, guys. 6 बाकी है, बस 6 बाकी है। 400 बस 6 बाकी है, 100 सब्सक्राइबर्स हो गए मेरे।
It's the one that has high value if it works out. It's massively risky, but it all goes to
6 सब्सक्राइबर्स बाकी है मेरे, 6 सब्सक्राइबर्स बस।
So they spot it way earlier than they potentially should have done because Law is doing some crazy maneuvers on the outside. I think there, honestly, Influence Rage gets very lucky.
The Rippers moving through. Nuclear Zone gave them some trouble. Hydro did go down. Ooh, there's the lineup from Waveball. And they've been on a tough side of this zone. The approach, not going to happen. They do win the fight.
क्या लगता है टीआर जैसे बोला मैं टीआर वैसे ही सीन हो गया, जैसे मैं बोला टीआर वैसे ही सीन हो गया यार, जैसे मैं बोला टीआर वैसे सीन हो गया। तो भी ये मैच में एटलीस्ट 3 पॉइंट आए अपने को, 3 पॉइंट, 3 ही पॉइंट आए लेकिन शिट भाई यही चीज भाई टीआर जितना अपना एलिमिनेशन 3 आया, प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट नहीं मिलेगा, प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट नहीं मिलेगा। शिट भाई, शिट 800 गेम पे ये मेरी क्यों इंस्टाग्राम पे स्टोरी लगानी है मेरी को। ओजी आज ओजी नहीं भाई, आज टीआर है, आज ओजी ना, आज टू रिवर्स। ये भाई गाड़ी से क्या उतारा उसको, कड़क उतारा भाई। बहुत कड़क उतारा भाई उसको गाड़ी से यार, बहुत सेक्सी, इतना अच्छा, सच में इनक्रेडिबल भाई, इनक्रेडिबल, सीरियसली। अभी भी 8 टीम बाकी है भाई, अभी भी 8 टीम बाकी है, अभी भी 8 टीम बाकी है।
That is a little bit of a stopgap for them. The 5 elims, no placement points for them though. I mean, you're right. It will keep them up with pace, but they do still want more. It's good to see though that
अभी भी 8 टीम बाकी है।
that little glimmer. DRX looking for it as well.
7 हो गई।
In towards the museum, not this time around.
FL टॉप्स क्या लगता है 1v1 लेगा?
Spray down going over towards Arcred. That looks like a good start. There's more to do, and Tops is on the ball. He's looking for the last players alive now. I think it's
इशू हो गया था, हाँ वो नेट अपने आप डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था, इसीलिए
coming through from Team Flash.
नेट डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था अपने आप, इसीलिए ऐसा हो गया। So sorry.
Have a new pretender to the podium.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, Flash had a extremely central spot very early on and have maintained it very well with 10 elims, like you say. Weibo up to 6,000.
क्या मारा 1v2 उसने यार?
Top side of the lobby.
FL टॉप्स ने?
What is going on with this team right now?
आना।
They are better than this. I know that they're better than this.
Oh.
It's been
हाँ। अबे बहुत वो नहीं बहुत वो
Judo has been knocked and that is
बहुत
all.
लगा इसमें, बहुत लगा,
He takes up the bunker. The vehicles stop piling up. Blank. Eventually, you're going to have an impenetrable.
बहुत लगा। सुख
sort of already have.
तीर कमान लिया है क्या?
On that side of the map.
तीर कमान लिया है क्या सुख ने? WBC पूरा all man surviving without a casualty.
Constantly being towards these end games right now.
शॉट किस पे जाएगा? ऑलमोस्ट WBG भाई, ऑलमोस्ट WBG। क्या लगता है चलाएगा क्या रामबाण? सुख भाई मेरे को सुख का भरोसा नहीं चला, तब तीर दिखा के काट मारने लगेगा बीच को। अरे मेरे को पता, उसने रीजनल टूर्नामेंट में भी किया आपने उधर, तो उसका उधर टूर्नामेंट वो जिसमें क्वालिफाई करके आया उधर भी उसने ये करामत करके आया।
The matches that they, or any of the rest of the points that they get in this match. Influence Rage, they're a little bit louder with 4, but they
6 subscribers to go 100 करो गाइस फटाफट। यस गाइस फटाफट 6 बाकी है बस 6 बाकी 100 के लिए। फटाफट 6 सब्सक्राइबर्स आन दो। लाइक्स भी आन दो फटाफट लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करो। यप फटाफट।
Sakura versus Bowes.
ये sakura WBG still all man standing। अगर ये चिकन आता है 6 एलिमिनेशन तो पहले से ही है। अगर पूरा लेके भी ये लोग कम से कम 10 तक जाएंगे। ब्रो ये नेट गया ब्रो ऑलमोस्ट ले लिया था रे sakura ने, ऑलमोस्ट मार दिया था ब्रो। क्लास very good name।
So despite only having one player alive, 4th place in a 6 elim game.
Very good name। ऑर्डर है, हीरो है, एक हीरो हमारे पास है, एक हीरो इधर है जो इंटरनेशनल खेल रहा है, एक हीरो मेरे टीम में है जो सिर्फ दुकान पे बैठ के पेट निकाल रहा है, साला गल्ला। उस दिन गेम खेलने बुलाया, बोलता है भाई मैं गाँव में नहीं होगा मेरे से गेम, नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहा। भाई जब रीजन देता था तब उसको बराबर हार्डू चला। आप लोग को मालूम नहीं हो बात की बात। गाइस लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करो फटाफट। लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करो। 6 बाकी है बस 6 सब्सक्राइबर बाकी है बस। सोना कर रहा है ना, सिर्फ सोना करने आता है साले को। WBG 12 नेट 14 स्मोक 2 मॉली 3 स्टन। अरे क्या है ये? ऑर्डर ने एक को निकाला, ऑर्डर ने एक को नॉक दिया, एक नॉक ऑर्डर ने दिया। आए ने 11 नेट 18 स्मोक 3 मॉली एक क्लास नेट भाई। एक नेट और गए वो लोग। नहीं ये तो पीछे ही है। इनको एक नेट और गया ना, ये खत्म गया। नहीं बचे ये वाला आधा एचपी। WBG चिकन। यस इवन आई आल्सो थिंक WBG चिकन। अरे मैं लाइव नहीं हूँ, देखो लाइव देखना है, एक मिनट लेकिन देखने दे, पूरा देखूंगा फिर लाइव करूंगा। पोजीशन देखो, हाँ ऑब्वियस वही पोजीशन देखो ना। मेरे इन लोगों को वापस रोटेशन, इतने से जोड़ने में वापस रोटेशन, पूरा घूम के जाएंगे फिर मार देंगे। ये हीरो और लील बॉय का होने वाला है, हीरो वर्सेस लील बॉय। क्या लगता है ये सीट चेंज करके दे दिया ना भाई, मार देगा। भाई सुख तीर कमान, सुख तीर कमान।
on that bunker. They can play that same spot, but with off angles to complement it.
Why do we have the bow here, Sook? I know.
अबे उसने सही में तीन कमान लिया है भाई, मिनी लिया है और 3 कमान लिया है भाई। वो क्लोज रेंज फाइट कैसी करेगा रे? 4v4 या 4v4 है, देखना पड़ेगा क्या हो रहा है। ये लोग रोड ले रहे हैं। ऑर्डर को डैमेज दिया। अबे 8 एलिमिनेशन लिया है भाई, 8 एलिमिनेशन लिया है। 8 एलिमिनेशन।
You know what? If WBG win PMGC, we're starting a campaign to get
33Z.
I reckon with this explosive bow.
33Z.
Only if they win though.
Hero.
Otherwise we get no help from us.
जो पहला ये एंट्री निकाला ना वो उसका एडवांटेज जो एंट्री निकाला ना जो पहला एंट्री निकाला उसका एडवांटेज क्लियर एडवांटेज जो फर्स्ट एंट्री निकाला ना क्लियर एडवांटेज क्लियर WBG दोनों ने WBG ने पहले निकाला WBG ने पहला एंट्री निकाल ली है भाई उसको बता नहीं क्या दो बाकी हो WBG एडवांस ऑफ ऑब्स्टैकल्स यप ऑब्स्टैकल्स का तो पूरा एडवांस है उनके पास
which is something that he refused to do in previous international tournaments.
दो प्लेयर बचे INF के
player that can find an unbelievable
भाई वो आप पे ऐसे सोच रहे थे बच्ची लेना चिकन आ जाए
and that's great.
एक और नॉक क्लियर WBG चिकन गैस क्लियर WBG एक बंदा बाकी है बस ये नेट मार मेरे को लगा सुन के मार दिया नेट प्रॉपर मेरे को लगा क्लियर वो सुक्का नेट सुकाने क्या बचा है वो नेट ऑलमोस्ट WBG चिकन भाई मेरे को लगा ही था ये लोग निकालेंगे ये सुक साला सुकड़ा का सुक मोटा का मुख
more expressive on their victory there as well.
लाइव कर देता हूँ
And Weibo were the conductors. Are you kidding me? They controlled this lobby so
क्लियरली कंट्रोल किया ये लॉबी भाई 11 किल निकाला ना नहीं 11 नहीं ज्यादा निकाला ज्यादा निकाला
especially it was respectful
ज्यादा फिनिशेस निकाला है
blasting everyone with their guns. No, like the strategy behind every move they made this game.
12 निकाला टोटल कितना निकाला
And in particular, they had this big fight on the southern edge, 2-2 split. I was like, oh, that's a bit much.
Sorry.
They're so respectful that they don't suffer any casualties.
तीन अबे यार क्या है तीन
Sook takes
भाई
damage.
चारों तबाही मींस ये होता है इक्वल लेवल पे किल निकाला भाई क्या है इक्वल लेवल पे किल निकाला चार का भाई इक्वल लेवल किल बस सुख ने डैमेज ज्यादा दिया ये सुख डैमेज टेकन जीरो डैमेज टेकन भाई क्या भाई जीरो डैमेज टेकन
Influence Rage played
and chicken इसका 135 187 21 अबे क्या है और डैमेज देखो कितना दिए ये लोग सुख तो ऑलमोस्ट 900 दे दिया 550 450 350
You just had these two teams trying different things all the time. It was really
crazy.
Man, look at that. 3
Crazy.
eliminations from every single player. I'll tell you what, if you guys are basketball fans,
Crazy, man, crazy.
The 2014 San Antonio Spurs, the fundamentals were just so
बहुत
it's
अच्छा
like they were in every single team's heads. So we're gonna go here, we're just gonna roll up on this hill, throw a couple nades here and there, and they just forced everybody to just play.
एक सेकंड ना मैं एक
They built up a beautiful chicken dinner here. I mean, that is how esports PUBG Mobile is played to perfection, Max.
I'm sure you're gonna have some people also in the comments or after this game saying, "Oh, like it wasn't that impactful of a game. It wasn't that wow." But it doesn't have to be. Sometimes being calm, cool, and collected is all you need to win a win. And in this case, Weibo showed exactly how it was done. Alamo on this match in particular. Though we see some Blaze Museum fight, Arcred, in my opinion, a bit of a rough send over there, kind of sending it one.
गाइस जो भी चैनल में नहीं आ रहे प्लीज सब्सक्राइब मारो मैं 100 से 6 दूं और लाइक करें स्ट्रीम को प्लीज करें सर जल्द से जल्द करें 100 मेरा गोल कंप्लीट हो जाए जो भी नहीं आ रहे चैनल पे मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं हां रिक्वेस्टिंग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें मैं बस 6 सब्सक्राइबर से दूर हूं 100 के लिए
but
आज
it
ये
just
स्ट्रीम पे 100 हो जाए तो
so,
बहुत मजा
yeah,
आएगा.
that dip was a really
12 eliminations
piece of land that
means
everybody
12
wanted.
elimination मतलब 22 kill का.
Rotations, so we do see
ये तो तेरा
again in
लोग
this
13 किल मारते हैं, 13 के elimination मार रहे हैं.
on doing it, and they had the
भाई.
longest rotation, to be honest. So big old northern rotation coming in.
13 elimination मार रहे हैं.
Around, but they were one of the teams, both them and E Arena.
क्रेजी यार. 13 elimination प्लस इनको कितना मिलेगा? 5 मिलेगा ना. 17
Rotation coming around, lots of
बेटर यार. बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे हैं ये लोग.
comes on through, but
ये तो खेल ही रही है.
Flash and Weibo, right? Just
तो ये भी खेल रही है.
those compounds just chilling until
क्लास.
I mean, I want you to
जो भी चैनल पे नए आ रहे हैं लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा. मैं सब्सक्राइबर से सिर्फ 6 दूर 100 के लिए.
big
एक अचीवमेंट कंप्लीट होगा मेरे लिए 100 सब्सक्राइबर्स करना.
and they don't overpeak it. This is really
जो भी आ रहे हैं लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करेंगे. फटाफट फटाफट.
but they just don't show their
22 16
really safe spot. They start nading over the ridge, easily
11.
get a few eliminations while taking very minimal risk. Hot juice.
हाई प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट 3 मिला.
To split push.
इधर प्लेसमेंट अच्छा ये लोग जल्दी मारे. जल्दी मारे.
Way to execute that game plan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, these guys knew exactly what to do with this game.
जल्दी मार ले
If they
जमीन से.
continue this kind of play style, they're going to be
इसके बाद आता है ना. इसके बाद आता है. टीआर का 3 एलिमिनेशन 3 पॉइंट.
right? I mean, top 2 finishes.
3 एलिमिनेशन लिया 3 पॉइंट लिया. टीआर ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. टीआर अपने को चाहिए भाई.
Still extending themselves.
एलिमिनेशन प्लस प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट चाहिए अपने को. प्लस प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट अपने को दोनों बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है.
Teams here, Max, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if
दोनों बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है भाई. सुक एमवीपी ऑफ द गेम.
guess what? Heaven.
3 एलिमिनेशन 868 का डैमेज 1 नॉकआउट.
And in that case, any location is really.
सर्वाइवल टाइम
He
25.33.
did change at the end, and I'm going to blame Blank for that. He made himself.
क्रेजी भाई. क्रेजी प्लेयर. क्रेजी प्लेयर.
This man alone is responsible for.
सुकड़ा है भी साला. नाम भी सुक है. आदमी भी
I
सुक.
love as well Sook's
Sook हो गए.
positioning, right? Because
है ना?
he played anchor.
क्या
on
हो?
his team.
सुक गई है.
Favorite splits
हम लोग के गांव में
to see
नहीं
other
है.
teams play.
जब लोग बदलाव का हो जाएगा ना.
3
आता
players.
इधर ही लोग बोलते क्या हो? सुक गई ना.
One player, and that one player
सुक के एकदम पतला है. ऐसे ही बिल्कुल.
and letting the rest of
WBG in top 3.
So really love that. With that performance, they're
पोजीशन 1 से इन लोग का
not sure, but
टीआर 14 पे.
into that conversation, Max.
टीआर 14 पे.
This one now.
ऐसा चलेगा नहीं.
Into the top 3 position, 35.
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा भाई.
The arena, Influence Rage still going to be holding on to that first and
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा.
the bottom of the leaderboards. No, a lot of downwards.
ये नहीं चलेगा.
They are definitely not building any kind of momentum. So
गाइस भाई एक मिनट रुकना. मैं जरा वॉशरूम जाके आया. वॉशरूम बहुत जोर से.
3 days worth of action.
वॉशरूम जाके आया. वॉशरूम
Down
जाके.
there for too long.
That's for sure. Well, let's take it on over to a quick break, guys. We'll be right back in just a minute.
I am back, guys. I am back. I am back. I am back. ये ब्रेक हुआ है 2 मिनट का ब्रेक हुआ है
Alo. Anneciğim ne yapıyorsun?
Anneciğim, iyiyim bebeğim. Sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyi ben de çok iyiyim valla. Maçları izledin mi?
Oo, izleme ben olur mu? Ben krizleri geçirdim beni burada. Bana 2'ye çıktınız.
Ya bu arada-
Üçe oldunuz, geri 3'e düştünüz, geri 2'ye çıktınız. Ben kalp krizi geçiriyordum yani o sıra.
कुछ नहीं तो हार्ट अटैक
Burada diyorum ya, 3 gün formayla takıldım.
भाई
Vallahi.
Formayla gezdim işin.
एक लगी सीन है लगी सीन है
Formayla yani şey yaptın değil mi?
लगी सीन है
Evet.
क्रेजी शिट
İyiyim anneciğim.
उसकी मम्मी को हार्ट अटैक आया
Ben
मतलब
de seni
ज्यादा संभाल लेंगे
Bakmadım, hayırlı olsun demek istedim.
uyumuşum bir de uyuyakalmışım.
Ben de dedim kutlamaya mı gittiler, ne yaptılar? Muhabbet.
Öyle işte.
Tamam anneciğim.
Tamam.
Seviyorum, öpüyorum.
Ben de seni seviyorum öptüm hadi.
Hadi arkadaşlarına çok çok selam söyle.
Hadi.
Yok,
मैच स्टार्ट होने में थोड़ा टाइम है
onları da tebrik ettiğimi söyle.
अन्नी
Onların da selam var sana.
Tamam, aleyküm selam anneciğim.
It's the kingdom.
Welcome back to the halfway mark of day 1 of Group Red. I got Hughes from Team Flash with me. It is your first time at PMGC. How are you dealing with the pressure of playing at the biggest event of the year?
Chào Rất Hiếu. Thì đây là lần đầu tiên mà đội hình hiện tại của các bạn thi đấu tại giải PMGC, tức là sự kiện lớn nhất trong năm đúng không nào? Vậy thì không biết là các bạn xử lý cái áp lực thi đấu như thế nào?
Đây cũng là lần đầu tiên mà team bọn mình tham gia BMGC, cho nên là tụi mình giải tỏa những cái áp lực đó bằng cách là không đặt thành tích nó quá cao, mình sẽ chinh chiến hết mình.
Yes, this is our first time playing at PMGC, and we try to release our stress by not putting so much pressure on the achievement we need to get. We just have to play at our best.
Okay, well, I mean, the day started off quite well in regards to eliminations. You guys are, after 3 matches, you're averaging about 7 eliminations, but you haven't been able to place in the top 3. What is stopping the team from just getting a top 3 finish after 3 games?
Thì sau 3 trận đấu đầu tiên của ngày thi đấu hôm nay thì các bạn có những cái điểm hạ gục khá là tốt, trung bình là 5 điểm mỗi trận. Tuy nhiên là mình chưa vào được cái top 3. Vậy thì không biết là điều gì đã khiến các bạn dừng chân trước khi vào top 3 mỗi trận như vậy?
Mình nghĩ đó chính là điều bọn mình thiếu kinh nghiệm, cho nên là sẽ không làm lại những người mà họ có kinh nghiệm hơn, cho nên là mình chỉ dừng chân ở top ngoài thôi.
I think the reason is because we lack experience. That's why we couldn't compete against more experienced or more veteran players, and that's why we stopped before getting into the top 3.
Okay, well, I appreciate the honesty out of that one. And talking about experience, you kind of don't really have to have any rivalries at this stage. But is there any of these teams that maybe is making your day a little bit more difficult after 3 games?
Vậy thì trong cái khuôn khổ thi đấu hôm nay, không biết là có đội nào khiến cho các bạn cảm thấy là mình gặp nhiều khó khăn hơn trong quá trình thi đấu hay không?
Chắc là
अबे ऐसा मुझे को ना दे
3 trận thi đấu
इतने बड़े स्टेज पे इतने बड़े लेवल पे खेलोगे
cho nên là
कैसे
đội mình chưa tìm ra được những đối thủ nào mà
हमको ना बहुत बुरा है
Probably the
हमारे
first 3
एक
matches
अच्छा
are
एक्सपीरियंस
not
करने रहा
enough
हम कैसे
for
थोड़ा
us
लेवल
to notice any
भाई तो
rivals
इतने बड़े
that
स्टेज पे
cause
जो हारा चाहिए
problems
भाई
to us.
ड्रॉ
Okay, hey, that's fair.
You are
So it's
representing
basically
your
3
country,
games,
man.
And you are currently building up that
You
confidence
are
on
representing your
first
country.
PMGC. I can't wait to see if you guys are going to continue with this kind of
You should
performance,
have to have
because
that
the
charm
next
on your
matches
face.
are coming your way.
No way fucking. अरे एक तो ना इन लोग का अभी इस लोग का वॉइस क्यों नहीं आ रहा है?
Well, that's how you get it
अब
done
आया।
against the top
तब आया
teams
तो
in the lobby.
अरे उन लोग का प्रॉब्लम था मेरा नहीं मैं मजाक में बोल रहा हूँ
PMGC, they're playing against the best, and they're playing on the best device as well with the Infinix GT30 series.
Infinix GT30
2025.
भाई कुछ नहीं यार मैं
Precision, performance, and victory.
और अच्छा
Empowering
बोली
every
मैं
gamer.
सुना
Hashtag be the
अच्छा
one,
बोली
and
ना
hashtag outplay the rest.
जाओ
Stage. You know, Neptera, I love to hear that, right? Because, you know, this is Flash's first PMGC performance. And in my opinion, they're doing great so far.
This winter plus night run plus foggy guard
It's really
road
shocking for me to hear that this is their first
till
top
live
5. I mean, yes,
right
we're
to
free,
clarification and
but
win.
still, we've seen more experienced teams do far worse so far in these 3 matches, and I love what he was saying there. It's like, listen, we have no pressure on ourselves. We're trying to make sure that we just play our best game, and I love that because that is the temptation. Is you're a new team, you go straight into we have to win it all, and it's like you really don't.
Yeah.
Just chill, just relax. It'll go far better for you. So I love that mentality coming in from them.
I was a big fan of how Team Flash played Museum this previous game, right? Because there was a very clear mistake being made by Arcred where they sent in solos in really weird positions, but no, they just start regrouping, fully prepared.
Guys, जो भी नया आ रहा है स्ट्रीम पे don't forget to like, share and subscribe. मैं 6 सब्सक्राइबर दूर हूँ 100 से।
And hopefully
आज वो गोल कंप्लीट हो जाए तो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगेगा।
Yeah.
Please आप लोग करवा लीजिए।
3 more matches left to go. 1 more Aaron Gale, 2 more.
एक चैट में मैं मैसेज भेज देता हूँ।
Miramar's going to definitely mix things up for sure. So I'm interested to see how some of these teams.
Subs to
Honestly, I'm going to go place on
400
here, Max, because we're already seeing
First.
some teams have quite consistent gameplay at the rip. I know, like, we still have a
Achievement.
whole tournament left to go here, but I mean, with the last Aaron Gale match, there's so many squads below 15 points here. I think they're ready to pull a good performance out on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. You want to try and initiate a little bit back. Because just as a point of reference, by the way, if we're looking back at Group Green, even though the points might be a little bit different, it was about a 98 point cutoff to be in the bottom 5, right? Which, just if you win your PMGC adventure, you want to make at least 100 points, I'm going to say, if you want to be comfortable and make it into last chance on the
चलो एक मैसेज तो डाल दिया मैंने
grand finals.
जो नया है
Some teams already
please
almost halfway there.
make sure to
Coming from E Arena,
like,
Infant Trade got
share,
they're pretty much
and
essential to
subscribe.
not be eliminated.
Please guys that's 100 करा दो
Try and match that
94 हो गए
if we want to see them at least
94 हो गए
back to the airport after these next 3 days.
I do agree, but I think there's also some
देखो स्मोक पे क्या मारा है वो
right? Because if the first 3 teams just run
ये
away
देखो
with
यार एक
all the
मिनट ना
points, if you look at 10th and below, I do.
स्मोक पे क्या मारा है
Not
तो
being
निकाल
sent
दो
back to the airport after these next 3 days.
I do.
ये तो
agree, but
चलो
I think
ये
there's also
spotted है
some
ये क्या है ये कहाँ से दिख रहा है 33 क्या है ये कैसे मार दिया भाई मार दिया
because if the first 3 teams just run away.
Chance time, Neptura. 2 squads are
Top
going
4
everybody
gunslingers.
to the airport, right? And that's
Group
only 2
Red Day
games,
1
right? I can't like.
भाई मेरे हिसाब से WBC तो जा रही है for grand finals
How much of a difference
ये नहीं जाएगी तो कौन सी टीम जाएगी
in a 3-day tournament versus a 2-day?
अभी बताओ ये टीम नहीं जाएगी तो कौन सी टीम
Well, you have 6 less games. That's the obvious one, right? You have 6 less games to only get 2 placements. Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind
जेली कुछ कर जेली यार ऐसे नहीं चलेगा अपने को चाहिए
But there's still
वो एग्रेशन लाओ गेम में लाओ भाई
in the tournament, right? It's only
इतना मुश्किल से ये स्टेज मिला है अपने को खेलने
Are we
को
losing 1 place
especially
in the
you
finals in the last
for
chance?
jelly
We're
for
also
you
losing the 4th to 11th buffer zone as well.
कितना स्ट्रगल किया ना तुमने ये एक चीज के लिए
Just get to top 11 is infinitely worse to get to last chance because there's just not that buffer.
बहुत स्ट्रगल किया जेली ने ये चीज के लिए
It's top 2 or
तो वो चीज को रोको भाई कि नहीं भाई वो करना है
of course, the more
कुछ चला गया लाओ यार अंदर से वही आग लाओ
scale, right? So those top teams, the
लाओ
more
वो
games
आग
you have,
यार
there's a higher chance Hot Jukes
लाओ ना
they can falter. They can
लाओ
fall. They can have one
अरे
bad
ये
day.
तो ज़्यादा ही
and
ओवर
it
एक्टिंग
makes
कर
it
रहा
easier for these middle squads. Maybe bottom squads.
चलो भाई चौथा मैच इराका लास्ट मैच
The best in your
ऑफ
respective
इराका
Yeah, I think 3 days
Of
is
day one.
pretty tough. We said it many times. One bad day is what we can really have. More
ऑफ
than that,
डे
back home, so you can't really
Change
afford
data.
a single bad day because otherwise we're still
So sorry.
middle of the pack here.
So sorry.
I'm gonna have a really hard
हेलो
time
गाइस जो भी नए हैं हेलो हेलो हेलो आरिफ हेलो
Yeah, for sure.
हेलो हेलो हेलो
If I'm one of these
How are
squads,
you?
I'm trying
How
to
are
take
you?
my last chance
हेलो हेलो
with everything I got.
बिग फैन सर
Because
Yes.
Me too.
let's
Me
pretend
too.
we're right here. Neptune.
Me too, me
Right?
too,
Let's
me
pretend this
too.
is last chance, okay?
मी
You
टू
got EA,
गाइस जो भी नए हैं चैनल पे लाइक सब्सक्राइब करें
all tournament. You know
6
what I'm saying?
सब्सक्राइबर दूर भाई शाउट आउट टू अल्फा 4x गेम बॉट
That could be one spot.
A big shout out to you, Alpha 4x Game Bob.
Influence Rage, you know, finishing in
गाइस जो भी चैनल पे नहीं आ रहे लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करें 6 सब्सक्राइबर दूर हूं मैं
You know, so it
100 से फर्स्ट अचीवमेंट अनलॉक हो जाएगा मेरा फर्स्ट
could be
अचीवमेंट
done and dusted just like that, especially
छोटे छोटे अचीवमेंट लेके चलेंगे तो अच्छा भी लगेगा
Right. I mean, it's an
मजा आता है
insane
अचीवमेंट अनलॉक करने
storyline to
6
take
सब्सक्राइबर दूर हूं
the tournament
होपफुली
over in one game, right? If EA
होपफुली ये
wants to
स्ट्रीम में हो
achieve
जाए
the exact same performance
होपफुली ये स्ट्रीम में
on the
वो
first day of last
आज
chance,
बिग
they're
सपोर्टर हूं
almost
बट बीजीएमआई के
just
लिए
one position.
श्योर
I
श्योर
mean,
सर
it's
श्योर
crazy
श्योर
coming
पक्का
in
खेलेंगे
very,
पक्का
very
खेलेंगे
consistent. Oh,
थोड़ा
there's
इधर हो
no
जाए
doubt, guys, everybody go home.
सुपर हैट दूंगा
The first 3 games. I mean, any sort of repeat of today going into last
Super hat.
chance is going to be so
अच्छा अच्छा भाई थैंक यू
for the rest of
और
the
सुपर
team.
हैट
That confidence just gets
बट बीजीएमआई करो श्योर श्योर श्योर
it just starts getting
बीजीएमआई खेलेंगे पक्का खेलेंगे थोड़ा टाइम रुक जाओ
12 games and
मैं एक और चीज पे वर्क कर रहा हूँ
look at 12
अगर वो भी हो जाती तो दिन की 2 स्ट्रीम में मैं वर्क कर रहा हूँ
Confidence.
एक बीजीएमआई और एक
I was saying,
टाइम पे एक बताऊँ थोड़ा उसमें टाइम लगेगा लेकिन वो अगर हो गया मेरा काम तो बहुत मजा
these
आएगा
past 3 games. Oh my gosh.
मेरे गेमिंग सीरीज में टोपी पहनाऊंगा जरूर भाई जरूर
right? You get
मार लो मार लो
3 games, and that could be it.
It could be. It's really weird too, and we said it a little bit.
चलो भाई
earlier.
मैं
Do seem kind of
टीयर का क्या स्टैंडिंग है टीयर का स्टैंडिंग शायद 14 या 15 है
naturally will perform well into because it's very
टीयर का स्टैंडिंग 14 या 15 है 5 पॉइंट्स पे
in group green
और 5 पॉइंट्स एलिमिनेशन का अपने को प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट अभी तक नहीं मिला
aggro focused lobby. We're doing great, but no here.
लड़के शायद अपने नर्वस हो रहे हैं इतना बड़ा बिग स्टेज है वो है लेकिन थोड़ा सा
This lobby is responding to
क्या
servers.
बोलूं मेरे को भी नहीं समझ आ रहा कि भाई उनकी भी गलती नहीं है लेकिन अगर इतना
Because if they don't,
ग्राइंड करके जा रहे हैं तो उनको
I never thought I would ever say.
ये भी देखना चाहिए था ना कि एटलीस्ट ओजी
I think you
किस
bring
हिसाब
up
से
a
जा रही
really
है
good point is that if they had been in group green, they would have done far better than at least
Yeah.
for now they're doing, right? And I think it's because
चाहिए क्वालिटी करने के लिए क्या पोजी चाहिए
hyper focused on
Yeah.
every angle, right? They are
होगा होगा
because
रुको
they're
मेरे को
not
जाना पड़ेगा खेलने को श्योर श्योर भाई
on those fights
श्योर
that
जाओ
really what we're seeing here
इंडिया को
is
रिप्रेजेंट
every
करो
team just
मेक इंडिया
position
प्राउड
is locked down.
ग्राइंड
It's
करो
not
दिन
group
का
green, they're so
10
aggressive,
12 वाला
so
घंटा
ready to push and ready to fight that.
तभी जाके वो
They're
रिजल्ट
not
मिलेगा
ready to
क्योंकि
just
ये जो
sit in between enemy lines and
इंटरनेशनल
get
प्लेयर है ये
position, and that's
इनको और
what
कुछ काम नहीं
they're
है ये सिर्फ ग्राइंड करते हैं
here. They're just not being
they
given that
do
opening to
as
really
like a
make some
job
plays.
कि उनका काम है ये करना ग्रैंड
Hodrix is the last chance there.
फाइनल क्वालिफाई
Which clearly plays
ग्रैंड फाइनल क्वालिफाई के लिए अपने को टॉप 3 में आना
to
पड़ेगा
the game sense it's and
और अगर यहाँ नहीं हुआ अगर टॉप 3 में भी नहीं आया तो टॉप 11 में आना पड़ेगा एक और चांस मिलेगा टीआर को
oriented and getting
सर्वाइविंग स्टेज के लिए वो जो कि होगा इसके बाद
the last chance.
उसके बाद ग्रैंड
So
फाइनल्स
excited with how different some of these teams and groups are currently playing. So last chance, man, it's going to be intense, and also teams will have to adapt.
उसके बाद ग्रैंड फाइनल्स
Again, you're not in top 2 in that stage. You're going to have a bad time. So you want to be in top 3 right now because Hodrix otherwise. I think that adaptation in last chance is going to be so rough to execute that all the teams are just going to struggle to get even remotely close to the top of the rankings.
I think that's a great
गाइस जो भी चैनल पे नहीं आ रहे हैं सब्सक्राइब करें लाइक करें 6 सब्सक्राइबर दूर हूं मैं बस
wrestling match, right? The
6 सब्सक्राइबर दूर हूं मैं बस
happen, you know?
एक अचीवमेंट
And it's like a
एक अचीवमेंट अनलॉक हो जाएगा मेरा एक नया अचीवमेंट अनलॉक हो जाएगा और मोटिवेशन मिलेगी मेरे को कि हाँ करना चाहिए मेरे को
careful on their rotations, not moving until the perfect second. So yeah, when you have both those two, you know, different lobbies crash with 2 days only, it's gonna be such a tough position, you know. So, I mean, we still have quite a few games left today. We got 3 left and then 2 more days.
As per today, the best team will be in India.
Kind of emphasize on is that it gives you a little bit more
AQP,
time, a little bit more
Admino,
time
Espoir,
to
Paru or Jelly.
My question is to you, Max, is have Virtus Pro burned
I
through all those
think
mistakes?
इसमें थोड़ा changes की जरूरत है.
We've already seen 2 games today where almost the entire,
As a ICL,
just like a second.
as a ICL, so I will take Aru.
We already had this. I think you asked us this question a little bit earlier on, also in Group Green, and I'll stay.
अगर तूने तीनों support, तीनों assaulter ली.
Okay.
There's still
तीनों assaulter से तो अपना काम बनेगा नहीं.
for you to make that comeback with a
So
total.
for this, I'll go with AQP, Admino.
2 points away from first place, which really, you have a good second half of the day. You
ये हो गए
can
3 अपने.
significantly.
और एक मैं जाऊंगा सपोर्ट प्लेयर ना सोल जोकर.
If you do want to be
Soul
top
Joker.
3, one entire bad day.
क्योंकि आज के टाइम पे सोल जोकर से बढ़िया प्लेयर एज ए सपोर्टर नहीं है.
Big change, but Nitra,
तो अगर एज ए बेस्ट टीम बोलोगे तो आरू, AQP, सोल जोकर
how exactly they need
and
to because
और क्या था एडमिन.
honestly I think every
And as a fifth
team
player.
in this lobby, every other team feels pretty well
अंडा
suited
घुसो
to this
यार.
kind of gameplay. It's just not really happening for
Relay
them.
on
So
gun.
I agree. I think
Relay on pure
one
gun
day
power. भाई
is
gun
gonna
power
be
का बात ही नहीं.
pretty difficult.
Well, let's go ahead and take a
गन पावर का बात ही नहीं है. वो लोग ये इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर अपने से थी, मैं बोलूंगा ना अपने से बहुत आगे हैं. ये इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर अपने से बहुत आगे हैं. इनका रिएक्शन टाइम अलग है, इनका डिसीजन मेकिंग टाइम अलग है. इन लोग का रोटेशन इतना क्विक है. हम लोग वो सब चीज में लैग कर रहे हैं. डिसीजन लेने में ये लोग सोच नहीं रहे हैं. फटाफट ये करना है, इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं ये लोग. रोटेशन इतना क्विक है, जैसे जोन शिफ्ट हो चलो रोटेशन करना है, जोन इन करना है. भाई बहुत क्विक है. इंडियन सर्वर इंटरनेशनल सर्वर्स में बहुत फर्क है.
اذا انت بطل بمثل ممكن تكون محظوظ بجيم جيمين، اما انك تكون محظوظ انك تفوز بطوله هذا
वो
شيء
तो बहुत है भाई.
Tại vì họ là một đội mới nên
पता नहीं,
họ sẽ có những tâm lý khá là bất ngờ.
पता नहीं भाई.
I think probably
пता नहीं.
Pro just looked like that.
Нельзя, блядь, сказать, что они удачи, что мы нормально сыграли. Там нет неудачных. И те, кто на удачу играет. Я посмотрел, типа...
रात को बीसीएम में 11 to 1 भाई नहीं पॉसिबल नहीं है. सुबह 5 बजे उठने का रहता है, काम से बाहर जाना रहता है, पॉसिबल नहीं है. 11 से 1 खेलने. स्ट्रीम पे खेलेंगे ना, स्ट्रीम पे खेलेंगे 7 to 10. 3 घंटा मस्त मचाएंगे, फिर आई विल हैव टू स्लीप एट 10 भाई. इसी
Я считаю, что из всех...
उसके बाद रोड ही चल रहा है इसी में. कुछ नहीं है.
своей командой.
Pro çok iyi oynadı. DX zaten bu PUBG Mobile oynadığından beri hiç sevmiyorum.
ऑप्शन नहीं, थोड़ा सुबह काम के हिसाब से भी जाना पड़ता है ना भाई, इसीलिए.
Yani bölgeleri güçsüz olduğu için ben MENA bölgesi demek istiyorum. Oradaki biraz daha vurmak kolay diyebilirim. Main fight artık.
I don't think any GMSL champion teams are stronger than us.
3 मिनट है यार, अपने मैच स्टार्ट होने में 3 मिनट बाकी है.
ممكن ايه ممكن اقول لك
एक सेकंड में दे
افضل لعبه لانه حبي احنا جايين ندمرك.
Em muốn cân nhắc đến đội BMSL Vela là cách chơi của họ có thể là khá là ổn ở bên cuộc đấy, nhưng ra đây chúng tôi chưa chắc các bạn đã làm được.
Yes, I think we have more experience than the other teams, but I think this is benefits us. It's in our advantage because the teams don't know how we're really going to play.
Tekanan tu memang ada.
अरे यार मैच क्यों करना है, इतना टाइम क्यों कर रहे हो? ये नहीं समझ आ रहा है. जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी बात चालू करते ना.
O passado foi muito especial para a gente. Um passo do título. Mas às vezes, por mais que você se esforce, o resultado não vem. Essa derrota ficou com a gente e nos mudou.
آخر سنة ما راحت بالطريقة اللي ردناها، حاولنا وتعبنا بس بالأخير ما حصلنا النتيجة اللي ردناها.
My first game really taught me a lot about myself, the pressure, the nerve, the mistake you can make only on war stage. Now I'm here with a new roster, but my goal is still the same, to perform the way I know I can, to play with clarity, confidence and discipline.
A gente tá aqui pra jogar e ser feliz e buscar o topo. Sim, a gente está ainda mais confiante. Eu acredito que essa MGC vai ser a melhor de todos os tempos, né? Influenciate.
أنا واثق من نفسي هواي واثق من تيمي هواي أيضا ونتأمل ناخذ توب 1.
Perjalanan PMGC kita orang pada tahun 2024 boleh dikatakan sangat teruk. Kami langsung tak berjaya untuk lepas ke next stage. Tapi 2025 akan berbeza. Saya tak akan biarkan kesilapan yang sama berlaku 2 kali.
It's my fault, but I always come back.
Don't get it twisted. Our talent was never the problem.
Bom, este ano voltamos com mais fome, mais disciplina e com a mentalidade bem mais clara. Acredito que este é o nosso momento.
Saya tak nak orang ingat tim Malaysia ni datang untuk bercuti je. Tapi saya nak orang tahu yang kita orang boleh bagi saingan terbaik untuk tim-tim global.
All right, let's keep things rolling. We are going to be heading on into the next match, and hopefully getting things underway nice and quickly. Apologies for the slight delay, but we are going to be jetting on. He is fighting fit as a fiddle to be carrying on with proceedings. Blank, it's been an interesting day. I mean, the desk was talking about how it feels a little bit more like chess or the rotations than the boxing matches that we saw back in Group Red. I feel like, from what you've said so far today, I feel like you agree.
Yeah, I think that there is like this almost a little bit of me is thinking, oh, is this a little bit just of a less aggressive lobby? I think that at this stage of the game and this stage of the year as well, it's like you'd expect every single team to know exactly what they're doing here. But at the same time, I am just sort of curious in terms of the aggression that's coming through. It doesn't feel like there's quite enough here.
Yeah, it's that is interesting. That is interesting to bring up, right? Because we've seen, I think Arena is kind of the example of this, right? Obviously, in the first game, we kind of, that's an exception. We don't talk about that much. But throughout the rest of it, generally, very, very passive, right? Waiting for things to come to them. Surviving quite a long time, though, to be fair, and that might well be enough if you're able to blast out when they all do come to you. It can work out, get you up into a top 3 position. We are going to be heading into
another last match.
Cross is on that western side, and here you're forced to cram everyone towards the east. There's definitely going to be teams dropping on top of one another. As you can see here, Weibo taking down the player VP. Now, Maxwell was talking in particular, VP just wasn't looking like a squad right now who could take over the lobby, which is what they enjoy doing, and I'd agree with that. I think they're a team that likes to bully, and here there is not a lot of teams to bully, honestly. There's not a lot of teams to shove out your way and take a central position.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher of an opponent than maybe they're used to. And we'll see if they can adapt to it, because right now they are dead last. They got 1 point this time around. I was looking at where teams were dropping. I was worried about down towards Primorsk because both Arena and Influence Rage were dropping down in that area. But Arena sent a lot further up, and they will play that West Coast split. Again, just keeping that one going. Other than the Elam we just saw there against VP, seems like is out of danger for the time being. Nice and split from one another. Arena finally dropping down. Doesn't look like they've got too many vehicles though, like, so maybe a long walk ahead.
Yeah, just gonna cut in here with Weibo because they're starting on the south side of Stalber, and again, I think that if you are so yeah, VP is getting trounced upon right now. But I think that the lobby under wraps. I think they're quickly understanding what needs to be done because they're already sending. They realize so many of these other squads just aren't moving. They just aren't moving off the center of the circle. They're not looking to pick up strong positions early on either. On Weibo, on the other hand, they're just like, well, we'll just pick a central spot that we can rotate freely from, and then work from there. Because everyone's trying to play on the edge or center on the outer bounds. I think there's a little bit of a lack of confidence in some of this lobby.
Right? Like, obviously, new lobby, don't know what's going on. Exactly, you should be aware of general principles. Every lobby is different. And we do keep chopping and changing them here at PMGC. This one, so maybe they're feeling it more here in Group Red. So yeah, maybe it is a little bit not as bold as they potentially could be. And at the moment, there's a few teams taking advantage of that. 2 teams over that 40-point boundary, and Weibo up on 36. It's looking pretty decent, and a really big drop off down towards 6th place, with Pregnant Kai only on 17 so far. ETSH currently passing moving in on that south side of Severny, as teams need to move farther north up here for the towards shooting range.
In BGMI Sports, we call
this is very greedy
Raj
from them,
excellence.
They're playing towards
In his
the
accent
that just sits the west of Star.
means वो हैदराबादी accent है उसमें हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं सिनिए उसने खुद ही बोला मैंने नहीं मस्ती मजाक में बोला था
towards the northeast. You are going to see teams rotate towards that position very quickly. This does keep Weibo pretty safe. They have an eye in over towards Severny.
वो खुद बोलते हैं सिनिए
okay.
नहीं बोलता रहेगा तो स्नाइपर
Then you
आप करना हम मिल चुके हैं एक बार APL के इवेंट में आपने बुलाया था तब वो गिवअवे में जीता था मैं आपके आप करना मेरे को अगर बुला लगा होगा तो
Maybe they'll look to regroup. I could see some vehicles being hopped into from the east flank, but not holding my breath.
It's a good fun content.
On the swamp side, they're on 29 points now, Blank, in 4th place, moving 2 and 2 right now. So they have got their. This is their.
Ollie, क्या नाम है ये Ollie?
They've got 2 players.
अच्छा Ollie रखा था
Jimmy and Olio bringing up.
मैं जाना था मस्जिद तुमको.
Not across that river yet. They're just to the east of Roshok right now, east of apartments. In the meantime, Burmese ghouls actually might have boars to deal with on the far side of this bridge. As the boars are sticking around, it seems. They don't want to get to the next circle. They're busy.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking their time. They're definitely taking their time with this. Slowly move across. DRS things have crossed the bridge over towards the south side range. A little bit split off at the moment, just searching for position.
ARC versus DRX. क्या लगता है फाइट होगा?
But again, you don't really want to be.
Here तो 5 पॉइंट लेके 14 पे.
QXZ will easy for bad boy packing the rest of his team. So happy with the fact that they were rebuffed there.
टाइम बफर मिल जाता है प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए वो सर्किट में डोमिनेट कर लिया
DRX holding as much ground as you can in this area could be quite important. It forces teams this next circle. The more pressure that exists there, the less pressure is on the outward presence that they're trying to take. Sure, it's a bit of a at the moment, I think it's okay. I think if you did this in maybe 2 minutes time, that for a play like that, will be a lot more confident in their hold. During the establishment, you can have an impact on that pressure.
I'm not insane. Hopefully someone can confirm this, but Snorix did just spin like a Beyblade. Vehicle, right?
Something else.
Feed. I'll be honest, I didn't catch that. Can we get an analyst confirmation on the Beyblade technique?
Yeah, it felt pretty cool. And he was straight back on target as well.
All right. Yeah, we've got confirmation.
He did. Fantastic.
Believe in Heart of the Cards or something.
ETIT.
What the? What you just said is so criminal.
Digital monsters?
I think it was ETS.
Oh, okay. Well, while Silas needs to stop too, because he is taking shots out.
देखिए
He's
मुझे
going
मार
to be the one to pay the price for his hubris. Although he's giving them a good run around.
Silas?
Flying Silas out the window.
What the fuck, Silas?
Overpeak. Might actually wait. Loxy's not flushed. Is Silas going to get Loxy back up here?
What the fuck, Silas?
Try and save him in the vehicle.
It seems so, but there is a player looking to come on in. We'll clean
भाई अगर आप ओपन में रिवाइव दे रहे हो तो यही होना है ना
That's the question.
यही होना है ओपन में रिवाइव देने दो
But that was messy. It looked fun for Silas, but that was messy. The big news though is the circle blank. Big shift.
Yeah, he's a massive shift. That was
ओपन में रिवाइव है ऑलमोस्ट दरवाजा टूट गया था मैं थैंक यू ऊपर
instantly pull off from Severny, head over towards, probably going to try and pick up
स्टेप तो आ
combat
गया
side of shooting
उस स्टेप आ
range,
गया
high ground there.
थोड़ा अलर्ट हो गया
Very
अलर्ट भी
impressive
नहीं
so far. I think that they've had the cleanest rotates today.
वाह मुझे मार दे
They've been almost free for teams, and I think for Weibo they've made the best rotations out of
अगर बाय 30 मैं 40 का
up for that late game.
हो जाना चाहिए
Big fan, very big fan.
48 50 वही
Doing okay right now on that northern side here. A big stretch out, and still holding quite a lot of ground. Twisted Minds, they are across the bridge onto the northern shores.
One, two,
Gonna
three,
quite
four.
have the ability to have a Zaki circle, but near enough. Teams out on the west side. I'm looking at E-Arena, and again, they're kind of chilling. No one actually competing for the west side of this one. Sure, the fields to the north of North George, not super favorable, but there's buildings out to the east side of them that they could potentially look to turn in towards. That ridge line as well to co-occupy with WBG.
रोटेशन बहुत अच्छा
So
है
they can't really hold one point of it.
इतनी गेम रीजनिंग अच्छी है
Side, and maybe they are going to have to hold a point against
गेम को बहुत
Rippers, but
बारीकी से पढ़ते हैं बहुत एकदम भाई हाँ यहाँ पे ये
in a vehicle right now.
बहुत ऐसा है यहाँ पे वो है
He needs to maintain
Detailing type
towards the south side, but you immediately also need to regroup the rest of Weibo should they have a team rotate over the top side of Severny. And Malloy, very nice. Love to see it.
Ooh, and the rest of them too. This is a pretty important compound as well, given the state of the circle. Holding here would be brilliant, but the nades are good to open up for. Wait, hang on a minute. No, that wasn't it.
अच्छा
Actually, I take that back.
एक मिनट और एक आदमी वाले
Nade from Voston. Nades himself. A True Rip is actually going to try and descend.
एक मिनट और एक आदमी वाले एक मिनट और एक आदमी वाले
They want to earn those points, grab those
एक
prizes.
मिनट और एक आदमी और जाएगा ये टीआर
And True Rippers.
थर्ड पार्टी करना है
There's a knockdown.
अरे जब टीआर आएगा क्या देख को तो लिया
Another third party
तो
coming
एक मिनट
stepping out, flexing
टीआर तो एक नॉक भी है
doing a lot of work in the chaos
क्यों
of that.
कैसे टीआर तो एक नॉक भी है भाई भाई भाई भाई टायर हाँ बढ़िया पीछे पीछे देखो उन लोगों का रिएक्शन भाई कितना क्विक निकला है वो कॉली था कितना क्विक निकला है वो कितना क्विक निकला है वो भाई भाई मार ले एक मिनट और एक
They get a real classy compound to themselves in the center of the circle, and they play this one out fantastically.
One to go.
Hydro.
One to go, जल्दी one to go.
Feel like True Rip
मार दे
right now.
एक टीम और अपने बाजू में से तो जा रही है लेकिन मार सकता है नीचे नीचे नीचे well done boys well done boys well done 3 पॉइंट अपने खाते में 3 पॉइंट अपने खाते में अपने एक पोजीशन और अब
3 points off of that engagement. They'll be happy.
एलिमिनेशन में 3 पॉइंट और मिल गया अपने को
8 points now.
ऐसे ऐसे ये रिदम बनाओ भाई मेरा बोलने का फर्क पड़ी
Had the instinct of diverting, completely avoiding that third party situation.
I mean, they get ahead of it. That's the main thing, right? They get ahead of it.
अरे इसमें गोली मार का मतलब क्या है उठे
Finally, we're shooting hovercrafts.
मारो
It's taken a while to get there. Honestly, this happens a lot.
अरे उसके पीछे जाना चाहिए था
As well as EU, and everyone
पीछे जाना चाहिए था भाई उसके पीछे जाना चाहिए था
hovercraft as much as
तो वो दुआ फेंक दी थी वो गाड़ी सब खोल के मार सकते थे जाना चाहिए था तुमको उसके पीछे
the overall
TR अपने चारों मैन अलाइव 4 मैन अलाइव अपने पूरे नो कैजुअलिटी
so far.
My zone stays 3 stays 3
Coming on in. It seems like, yeah, whenever Hovercraft was moving, everybody was shooting at it in some of the sub-regions. Definitely a change of tune here. Around the ruins of the plane, Team Flash looking to move in from that southeast side.
Godspeed.
That shooting range hill to a further west position. Schools, yeah, they're not in this next zone, so there's no one really have to move to that north. Probably regroup towards Ichi, transition from there, use him as a foothold, a slingshot to push themselves forwards. But into those hills, you got WBG, you got Arc, you got Influence Rage as well, who are all
बढ़िया जेली बहुत बढ़िया बाकी को भी प्ले बढ़िया निकाले अपन एक फाइट अच्छे से
A little bit stuck, let's put it that way. Getting up this hillside,
Team kill आया अपने को
teams already hold strong positions. For E-Arena, they get a very fortunate game. They sent all the way towards North George, and they've been able to just loot this position for a long time. They should have all the utility in the world to work with. Hard shift on the north side actually shifts over towards George, which is very unlikely. And I think that if for Weibo, you can't. This is
south side shift
norm for they absolutely expected this circle to go center. But on a stage 4 shift, to shift on top of water, that doesn't happen. That really does not happen. The team's getting very unlucky here.
Hard south regroup. Kind of nasty. They gave up this bunker position that Arcred now have as well. On the north side, Rectum Kai went for a very quick move towards that coastline, and DRX are taking the dip just in front of them, out to their west side. The Arena, they've been chilling for a long time on that west edge. They love playing these edge-style situations. You highlighted that during the previous matches. The fact that it's gone so far north, that's great news for E-Arena's game plan.
Again, I do think E-Arena got lucky on this game. I think they got very lucky on this game in terms of where they went to go loot. Because this could have been a horrible game for them if the circle they've just been able to loot all day long, and then just because there's no one on this western edge of the circle because of the way the plane path fell, you get a really free and easy sweep on the west side. There's
TR versus FL,
and that will require skill. The setup for this game has not been that hard.
It has been a pretty long road, though. I think it's safe to say a south plane path into the north coast near to Zaki. It's definitely been a bit of a trial. The later stages of the game, teams might not have had as long to get that loot on.
Stage 4.
Fewer smokes maybe, and maybe more expensive to get to. We'll have to wait and see, though, if anyone's been hoarding them. A little cache of goodies to play around with. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, west side, Twisted Minds, Boars, to conflict. As well as DRX, actually, a lot closer to the center, picking up the stragglers of Twisted Minds.
For E-Arenas, it's a good time to go. Sadly, Twisted Minds fall over really quickly. Means the Boars are very secure in that position. The rest of E-Arena really weren't there. They're still looting for some reason. There's a lot of smokes to work with. Good side swipe actually from Hydra, and immediately backs off the position. Quite like that there. It's a good distraction maneuver, and now the Flash just down to one player. Influence Rage will come in to finish the job, though.
They're getting taken down here. It's Team Flash on the ropes as True Rippers, they've lost one to a full Flash.
Class.
Moving on in with 3 players. Has to hide behind the tree, though. Healing up as fast as he can. Stage 4 zone. So
team, 4 team, 5 team.
Coming through. Influence Rage. Around here, but Jelly on the low ground needs if he hasn't taken him down. Really dangerous to handle, and Law's able to get picking it up now. The last player to stand, Federal, did go down, and there's only one player for the True Rippers. He's spotted. but he will be put to bed. That is nasty on the off angle. They've still got one more, but no. It's going to be done and dusted. 3 elims found. Who's this, though? It's the last player from Deep Flash. Dias is going to take down Influence Rage. Okay, they survived through it all, but now Arfred are here. They love these oversight third parties. That's exactly what they flex out for.
This is the second time today the Flash has been able to live out a 3-man third party as the final player. We had Win do it over there on Rondo. Seems players just seem to forget that they're still existing in these engagements. True, so I did quite like the way they were manipulating the side. Good shot from NC2 with the Epicam. Really easy initial shot. That might be the go signal for E Arena actually.
Something. They might need to be a little bit quicker than that though, because SnowX hits them with the Beyblade attack. Blasts them with that metal core. Now they lose a player. Sakura down. It's having a really rubbish time now. 30k sees him coming from a mile off. E Arena picking up the points, losing 1, but with 5, they will reclaim that Influence Rage, so temporarily held.
Weibo, they lose one player in order who was their outpost, but now they're looking to finish off a couple of teams in their zone. Wild spray there from Sook. Luckily 33C is there to pick up the slack. Now GK looks to send a grenade across. It's a lot there from the high ground.
We're not going to be too worried about that nade. But it's not going to do enough damage to get another knock. So smoke starting to come on through. E Arena flexing down south here. And a little bit of a split still. They're not overcommitting. They're just continuing their watch to hold on this western side. Tony K. I don't think he's going to be able to do enough to take down Weibo entirely here. Not with the Burmese Bulls up top with GK. On the oversight, don't think you can push around. Wolf is okay. He's still alive. How has that happened? There were about 1 million barrels. How have you got away with this, Walsh?
I mean, he can just send dead center. See how long he can live out for. Up to 5 eliminations so far, despite losing a player earlier on, and here is the Bow in action. Very, very good actually fights versus Wizard Tower because it's pretty particular. And you can just pepper both of those positions inside that building.
With Burmese ghouls up the top, you can't really that's the pressure going. Okay, there we go. Wolf does go down. That came from Regnum Kaya, actually, all the way up on that northern side. And the circle, I mean, it doesn't hugely favor anyone right now, Blank. I mean, E Arena maybe, but DRX probably the only team that's going to have I don't even want to say good time, but an okay time.
Yeah, it's curious the way that Weibo need to play this out now. For GK, they've set themselves up very nicely ahead of the pack. And they just need to hold out Weibo. And because they understand the terrain here, they know that Weibo's options are very limited going forward. They could send out over towards that northern side, which is what 33Z is going to go for, but they need to immediately find a pickoff over towards 10K.
Spray down towards TK. 33Z going down, you're right. I mean, that's immediately getting flushed. They're going to have to leave this fight. Might be favorable, but they didn't do it quite quick enough.
OG.
Overzealous there. Not too sure.
But do they know OG? Only TR.
It's going to make them a little bit
Hey,
on the
kya?
get out. There's the run through as well from the ghouls. You're right. They deciding instead of going for the circle, they're going to try and speed, hit them around. He's taking a lot of damage. Steps out too wide again.
Kevin बने अपने
is going to come on through. And that is the pick up for Burmese Ghouls, but Ark just love these oversight.
Kevin बने अपने दुश्मनों के लिए Kevin. Kevin बने अपने दुश्मनों के लिए Kevin. ये ऐसा कैसे?
With a wide flex out, E Arena.
They realize again, it's just good terrain knowledge from E Arena, understanding that one of the only options for teams that are stuck underneath this wizard tower. It's a central Teddy K does a great job to hold that angle. I think for maybe they could wrap into that fight versus between Burmese Ghouls as well as GK, maybe get some more points. But overall, wrapping towards that north side, trying to take down the players from E-Arena was the high value play.
See if they can keep those high value players coming thick and
Oh,
fast.
yeah, chawal hai. Yeah, chawal hai.
And he doesn't have the backup
Ye job
left standing for E-Arena. But with 8 elims, it's louder than they've been previously. So I'm not too displeased. Down to top 5 again, getting very deep into these games. Seems like how this edge game goes. With 8 elims, it's looking really good. For now, I mean, maybe this is Regnum Kaya's game. They have a pretty solid spot on that northern edge. It's not easy to play. They are safe and they are very central.
We haven't talked about the to recap really quickly. For Regnum Kaya, they have been very good, and when it comes to taking shots across the entirety of the zone, they've constantly maintained pressure over multiple teams, and that's been fantastic. DRX, though, in another situation as a full-man is looking to take a chicken dinner here. We saw that wasn't enough, though, in the gauntlet. Need higher elim gains from DRX. If they do get the chicken dinner, it's still good, though. You know, it sets them up for at the end of the day. But again, we need more pressure. So I think that's just a fact.
I think we'll wait to see it. It came through from their South Korean counterparts. We'll see if they can bring it to bear here. For DRX, they have to move further east, but Regnum Kaya holding on that long terrain might actually be under threat here, as if DRX get those sideswipe angles, it's going to be tricky for Regnum Kaya to fully deal with it if they have to stay down on the belt buckle because of Arc Red's position right now.
Tough ending zone. Very, very a slight incline. I'd say safe. As soon as Regnum Kaya is in nade range, they are in. Versus a lot of these other squads. They're looking for a second place and maybe some more eliminations here. If they can get a chicken dinner, it will require.
Shots, Regnum Kaya, DRX, everybody lining up, getting in a queue to take them down, and it will be Alliance at the end of it. Because, well, hang on a minute, Arc Red successfully crashed that position. Well, successfully. They only have Glory 22 left standing. Who's going to have to try and navigate this one. Plays up to the tree. Blue Zone not giving him too many favors there as Tiny K falls. That's a 3rd place locked in for Arc Red. The arena out, but they get 8 elims at a 4th place, so a good result for them. They will continue to stay pretty solidly at the top of these tables because of it, Blank. And this is what I was talking about, right? Late game, the supply's a little bit dry because of the length of distance that teams have had to travel.
Yeah, I mean, DRX coming from the west side as well. If he was picked clean by E-Arena, DRX can get over 10K's body, then maybe. 2-3 versus 4. DRX, they know exactly where the guys from Regnum Kaya are playing. Regnum Kaya also have to deal with players. Glory. It's those nades now, which is going to be the big issue for DRX. They need to immediately very close to Kaisei.
Big investment on nades as well. Regnum Kaya now only with 2 remaining. Silas gets damage from that. Another follow-up goes through. The bounce is there, and Silas is now alive. Settles immediately on the reposition. But the buggy have been smoked, and the next nade's coming through. Oh no! He didn't want to go for that after all. The buggy explosion was good. DRX on the approach. Glory's lighting him up now. A 2 versus 1. I don't imagine he could do this, Blank. I just don't believe in it. Is low. Maybe there's a miracle.
What was that, brothers?
Do not have him under lockdown right now. He's challenging. He's boldly blocking. Completely.
Guys, जो भी channel में नहीं है, 6 सब्सक्राइबर्स में दूर हूँ.
insane. Okay, he's
प्लीज सब्सक्राइब करो 100 हो जाएगा DRS मैंने बोला था चिकन निकालिए
they step up. That's what they were
As I said DRS चिकन निकालेंगे DRS से चिकन निकालेंगे
Good job.
ये कितना एलिमिनेशन निकाला मैंने वो नहीं देखा
Western side again. It came down to a lot of other teams fighting amongst one another.
भाई जो भी चैनल पे नए आ रहे हैं लाइक सब्सक्राइब करें मैं 6 सब्सक्राइबर दूं 100 सब से 100 सब करवा दीजिए तो एक अच्छा पहली अचीवमेंट अचीवमेंट लॉक हो जाएगी मेरे लिए
We saw that from D Plus as well, where they were a little bit slow to the mark, but they were getting good placement points and some elims, but then they really turned things up, securing a position towards the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff.
Towards the top. Points and some elims, but then they really turned things up, securing a position towards the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. Coming on through a lot of decent elim games from Influence Rage, from Rectum Kaya as well. We'll see what DRX will do to get up towards the top spot.
It's Regnum Karya that get the zone, but it's DRX that gets the win. Beautiful nade played here, and I mean, what a way to finish this match here, Neptura, for DRX.
Really, really great stuff.
94 यार 100 करा दो भाई
My favorite kind of team is a team that'll do these big old splits, and the timing that they get in this game in particular was really, really nice because they were holding the same position for so long, right? They had this for like a couple of zones, and EA were just keeping them cornered with their own big split. But the minute that EA started getting into a fight, the minute they started falling down, DRX caught that. They went, hey, we're gonna spread out now. Now is our time. They move in and around Regnum as well, and just have clean sight across to our
It got a bit dumb against Glory though at the end. It was like, oh no, let's not get one for
very good
But it was very good, and I want to highlight one play in particular. It's QXE. I think his scouting was very important for the squad to get control of that did very early on in this match, because I think without his scouting, they may be just going completely blind in this match. So maybe in terms of, half a little bit, but QXE definitely
33 points
making hot jukes for this team.
जहाँ तक मेरा अंदाजा है 33 points DRX will have.
The way Arc did this game, right? I think they were really solid when it came to the third parties. You just see them kind of waiting in the shadows, picking their fights, trying to steal some eliminations here and there. I think they were definitely trying to hold down more, but at the end of the day, getting the top 2 finish and putting some points on the board.
Yeah, they've really got their heads on a swivel. I've been really enjoying watching them take opportunities against other teams in all the 4 games we've had so far. It's been a big thing for them that they've just been trying to get those third parties as much as possible. I love an opportunistic team like that, so really nice to see them continue to do that, and then in the final zones go really good. It was the play that I hoped that they would make. Yeah, it's not going to get them the win, but it definitely gets them that top 3. I love in particular the confidence that they're doing those plays in.
You see that style? That's almost got away with that save, just flying over the entire compound. And it almost did work out, but he did get punished at the end, but his teammates were able to at least redeem that fight somewhat for the rest of the squad. As you go for all of these circles, it kept shifting up northwest towards Zaki, which is very rare to see circles around.
भाई यहाँ पे टीयर बहुत देखना लगी यहाँ पे सच में टीयर मैंने इतना फेंका गया ना मेरे को बिल्कुल नहीं पसंद
A lot of these southern eastern fights just broke as much as humanly possible, but they were just forced in making those fights happen in the first place. But WBG, this ridge for them was so strong until it unfortunately in their favor.
WBG.
As much as I love seeing him play with the explosive bow, and they have an S12K.
Easy Lale. Yup. Yup.
How it did go down.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, Hardboy just going way out into the zone for that one. I love that from them. But yeah, I think WBG had some fantastic rotations, particularly in the early game. The 2-2 split to rotate right around to the north side. I loved that from them. But as we go over our top 4 teams, because WBG were not in the top 4, we got some pretty cool rotations from these guys as well.
Player का होना चाहिए यार एटलीस्ट टॉप को भी नहीं आ रही है प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है यार विदाउट प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट कैसे चलेगा किल्स पॉइंट भी आ रहे हैं जो ज्यादा दो तीन करके आ रहे हैं उसमें भी उतना फायदा नहीं है भले अभी अपन टॉप 11 पे लेकिन 11 अपना पोजीशन टॉप 11 में भी 11 पोजीशन इसलिए अपने चाहिए क्या है स्टैंडिंग 11th पोजीशन 11th पोजीशन
but when you get into the late stage of the game, keep shooting
11th पोजीशन है और अगर अपन 11th पोजीशन में रहेंगे तो अपने को सर्वाइविंग स्टेज जाने का मौका मिलता है
ready for any straight up fight that was coming their way.
Yeah, I think especially with the so open there, right? It's quite flat, so you're bound to lose players pretty easily if you keep them cover yourselves in some way. DRX able to just really spread out, as you saw over EA's position.
Subscribe
really nice from them, and it gets them 18 points. You know, it's not the most, the biggest elimination count we've seen so far, but 18 points.
Surviving state का मतलब नहीं है वहाँ पे टीम्स अच्छी आएंगी.
Is really close because those
टीम्स अच्छी आएंगी surviving state.
running away with all the points. For DRX, this is a massive game.
Yeah, I think it was a massive game for a lot of teams. You know, game that we see influence Rage not end up with a top 2. E-Arena.
पोजीशन 4 से 11 तक वो सब ग्रीन से सर्वाइविंग स्टेज में गए यहाँ पे भी वही पोजीशन 4 से पोजीशन 11 तक वो लोग सर्वाइविंग स्टेज में जाएंगे वहाँ से टीम निकलेंगे फॉर ग्रैंड फाइनल इधर तो एक से एक टीम फैल्कन है आईसी है
a man that is stepping up to the plate. It is Hyunbin again. I keep calling this guy
Loops
rising star, not
और वो उनका तो बहुत
just
बेटर टीम है भाई
global scale. This guy, you guys don't know, started his career in early 2024. He started last year, and he's almost played every global event, and he's been doing so well with GRX. I mean, GRX is one of the most consistent teams globally out there. So Hyunbin, I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know one day he is going to be a global MVP. I don't know when, but it will happen. It will go down.
I mean, to think that he's doing this
DRX मैंने बोला वही एक पॉइंट के बफर में टॉप 4 टॉप 5 आ जाएंगे
in 2 years where is he going to be as we
look
at
the
the
position
leaderboards, and yeah, DRX's win pushes them all the way up into 5th place, right behind top 3, to be honest. They're only 6 away now, so a big game. But yeah, as we were saying earlier, everybody here, I mean, Regnum still stay at 6th place, but you've got Archer into 8th now as well. BG and TR, both of those teams now moving into the top 11.
57
So
मतलब
really good stuff here. A great
अभी तो टॉप पहुंचने के लिए
I don't like
India
saying that Hot Trooks to something.
6 points का बफर
Top of the leaderboard, it's not moving. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
it's weird.
टॉप पहुंचने के लिए 26 पॉइंट का बफर पोजीशन 1 पे बैठे I said 28 points. 28 points with this.
Yeah, it's moving a lot at the bottom, which makes sense. The point gap is very minimal, but the top is not budging an inch, Hot Juke. So your theory is like coming to fruition every stage. It feels like.
It's kind of wild, you know. And I
11 eliminations, 11 points.
Right? Again, imagine if this is last chance.
वो भी TWS और TS में 1 point का बफर.
Everybody else. If this is a scenario that happens here, all these teams, like, let's be real, right? We would be counting out half the lobby already at this point. So it just goes to show how deadly that last chance coming up is. We are obviously still here in Group Red. We get to see Regnum Karya again. It's pretty crazy how much that top of the leaderboards has not shifted. With 17 points, okay? They're moving up for sure, right, Neptura? Nope, still at 6th place.
82 for damage.
That is a crazy stat. Oh my goodness. I don't think I had done the numbers in my head enough. I had no idea. That is crazy. What's also really funny though is Wild still in number 1, Tourney K still in number 2, and then all of a sudden with the win, DRX are just shooting up into 3rd and 4th place here for the top gunslingers, right? So even though, you know, we have a new team winning, new team doing all the things, those 2 players still on top here. So you still see that consistency coming through. And man, I don't think we've had a team actually be more consistent over a stage, at least so far, than we've had the top 3 teams be.
They're not budging. They are, I mean, except
Just
for
not.
well, the first time was not in, what, top 2? I feel like there's, which is crazy. They haven't been in top 2. They fell off. It's really
It's over.
For Influence Rage. But no, E-Arena 2, Tourney K, just a rising star from that region. I feel like ever since he got that in the pier area next to Farm against, I think it was Thunder Talk, where he should not have won that 1v1. This guy's been on an absolute killing spree, and he's doing it once again in this stage here.
वॉशरूम जाके आया मैं गाइस ना वॉशरूम जाके आया एक सेकंड ना वॉशरूम जा
So E-Arena, the running white rabbits here popping off, and I'm just see it Hodrix because they showed true PMWC in Riyadh. After that, they kind of fizzled out, but it's good to see that potential kind of coming back to that same level on the first day of the stage.
Yeah, and that's what it takes to be a champion, right? I think you have to get, you know, you get a little bit of circle love or a very fortunate position in one particular game, and you got to capitalize it. And the thing is that EA, I mean, they did it right off the rip here. That was like probably a rondo that we won't see for the rest of PMGC. That's how good it was, right? And the fact that they did it in game 1, they knew that, hey, this was so huge, Max. Let's continue with that momentum. Let's play it carefully. Let's get to some end games and put some consistent points, and let's shut down this slot right before we can let anybody catch up. And they're executing that strategy to perfection.
I adore the shift, by the way, from earlier this year in Globals where we had Sanok to now having Rondo. Because Sanok, it was a bad game, but it's Sanok. You know, we were all saying that, oh, it's a Sanok, whatever, who cares? But now, when it won and you have a bad game of Rondo, it's like, no, you could have so many possible points. The elimination points are just so high if you do get
I'm back.
Entire recall tower system.
I'm back.
So,
I'm back, guys. I'm back.
Right away, then Niptro get himself that massive chicken dinner with a ton of eliminations. He's definitely success very early on in Group Red.
Yeah, it has a real. That's the best.
अभी 2 मैच लगातार मिरामर का है
tone for the rest of the day, and
देखें क्या होता है अच्छा ही हो
no back-to-back
finger crossed
win coming in from EA just yet.
finger crossed for TR
They don't
finger
even
crossed
on the leaderboard. They are looking very good indeed. But I want to shift over just very quickly over to Miramar, right? Because that's the next game coming up. I'm looking over at the drop locations, Jukes, and it's Weibo and Regnum Karya in Picado.
Ooh,
now,
let's see some of that.
We've had many of these hot drops before, and all of them have lasted at least 15 minutes running into the blue because there's just this standoff. I really hope we don't get this time around.
I want to see it for at least one match. All right, come on. Let's
रूम तो क्रिएट हो गया होगा
hot drop action.
वो फोन में दिख रहा है रूम तो क्रिएट हो गया होगा ये DRX WBG I think one of the deadliest team of this group. तुमको देखो ना कैसे वो पूरा मैप लेके स्टडी कर रहा है मेरा
And this location of Weibo, by the way, is Montenuevo, which I'm seeing right now is free. So if the fight happens, I'm gonna call it kind of stupid. I know these two teams are how smart they are. I'm pretty certain, like 99% sure, Hodrix, it's not gonna happen. If it does, I won't be on the next segment. I won't come.
Hey, you know what? I mean, all clear heads should not avoid.
जल्दी कुछ कर जल्दी
Perspective, it'd be cool to watch. But at the
कुछ
same
कर दे
time,
जल्दी कुछ कमाल कर दे तू ही कर सकता है यार
if you guys have been watching,
कर दे भाई जल्दी कमाल कर दे कुछ तो एक अच्छा मैच दिला दे आज के दिन
the question, right? Which team do you like, dislike? And he was straight up D Xavier. I never liked them. He's like, I like the players, but I am so sick of this team's play style. I don't care for it at all. And guess what though? They're in the finals. They made it during the gauntlet, right? So if you want to be able to compete against them, honestly, now's the time here, Max.
If you hate D Xavier that much and you don't want to play against them, just fail to qualify. You know, you won't have to play against them at all.
चलो मैच स्टार्ट इन 55 सेकंड मेरा जो फेस कैम है उसके पीछे ही काउंटडाउन लगा जो ऐसे में बता जो फेस कैम है उसके पीछे ही मेरा काउंटडाउन
TMGC Nipchara, we always have this. I'm sure he's just fed up at this point.
I mean, इनका वॉइस का कुछ प्रॉब्लम
I
नहीं
have to
है
play with them again. Give me somebody new. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Five
it's gonna be
finger game,
interesting to
baby.
watch
Five
them
finger
because
game.
look, Regnum Karya, if they don't qualify to finals, if we don't get the dreaded Regnum versus Dick Xavier, then what are we doing with our lives? It's not PMGC without both of those teams. So I really want to see them do something here. Come on, Regnum, get some good games in this Miramar. Let's get you qualified.
Well, let's see if they could do it. Top 3 teams are being mighty consistent, but we're taking it over to Miramar. Let's go ahead and send it on over to our casters, John Allen and Blank.
चलो भाई we'll go to Miramar.
My, the time does fly. It's Miramar o'clock. We are in the sky. Trailer park over towards Impala as we are going to see if that stagnant hot drop in Picardo is going to be a reality, or is someone going to split off?
What does the plane path is?
As we're heading on over for the
ट्रेलर पार्क से इम्पाला कल भी ये परसों भी एक बार ये पड़ा था वो जी को पहले वाला तो मुझे मैच में हो गया ये सेम प्लेयर
strong gains out of Regnum Kaya, but right now it has been a little bit all over the place, losing players early. I think that last game was a testament to their capability. I mean, getting basically pinched between two squads is never fun, and I think they realized as soon as they got into the nade range. I think their big mistake there was not blowing up the buggy beforehand. It wasn't going anywhere. It ended up causing 2 deaths off the back of it. But yeah, I think that's just an oversight on their part.
हाँ फटक गई थी मेरी टीआर का क्या है टीआर का ड्रॉप लोकेशन क्या देखना पड़ेगा फिर टीआर चारों अलग-अलग प्लेयर
Might not be the one we expected, though. I think it's safe to say.
टीआर के 4 प्लेयर्स का अलग जगह उतरे ये तो ड्रॉप क्लास हो गया बे बीजी वर्सेस ये ड्रॉप क्लास हो गया मजा आएगा सब पूरा ड्रॉप क्लास हो गया इनका
This is over towards San Martin instead of Picardo, which, by the way, only has Regnum Kaya in it. Boars trying to spread around, but not going to be dropping into Picardo. Irina descending the stairs, though, on our screens, and looks like Burmese Ghouls are actually not going to look to push up just yet. In the same building, though, this is nasty stuff. This could hold on for a while, and maybe we were looking at Picardo too firmly, because this is apparently where it's at.
I mean, this is a really weird drop. Down on the south side of Hacienda, it is so strange to see this one. I think this is my first.
ड्रॉप क्लास हुआ एक बीजी वर्सेस ये क्या लगता है कौन मारेगा पहले कौन पहला ओपनिंग निकालेगा
I don't quite
जो पहला ओपनिंग निकाला वो घुसेगा डायरेक्ट पुश वन नॉक पुश
Serious one. I mean, going towards San Martin, I mean, you do get some decent loot. Maybe it was a backup drop and it was a new drop that someone was trying out, and they both
वन नॉक पुश तो होगा ये क्रॉप किस को मिली है टीआर के बंदे थे वहां
it is very curious.
टीआर के बंदे में 1 2 3 4 अलग ही चीज है ना टीआर का 4 बंदे 4 पॉइंट्स पे क्रेजी भाई टीआर का अलग ही चल रहा है
Everybody else seemingly well
11 पोजीशन पे है 11 पॉइंट है देखो
too close for comfort, not like we are in San Martin.
अभी इन लोगों को अगर इसमें प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट में मिलता ना भाई 20 पॉइंट होता अगर दो के हिसाब से देखो 21 पॉइंट ये लोग अभी भी पोजीशन 8 पे रहते 8 पोजीशन पे लेकिन नहीं
and play this one out slow, but you really delay yourself. And I think for both Burmese Ghouls as well as E-Arena, I can't tell which team it's more frustrating for, because you start in a good spot. You look at the circle here, and if you're Burmese Ghouls on the downstairs, you're just trying to throw smokes and get out.
ETSS guys जो भी स्ट्रीम पे नए आ रहे हैं मेक श्योर टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब 6 सब्सक्राइबर से दूर हूं मैं 100 के लिए 100 सब्स के लिए तो जरूर सब्सक्राइब करें मेरे चैनल को मेक श्योर टू सब्सक्राइब करें मैंने चैट में भी कमेंट डाला है
Arcade have a decent rotate out from Impala up towards
And
LSA.
RZ, R2,
Maybe even Toria Ahmad if they
R2.
won't go super far, but likely going to cut west as they hit the El Azahar Hills.
Would seem to be wise, but the furthest journey.
रोटेशन चालू हो गया, रोटेशन चालू हो गया, देखा? अरे इन लोगों का रोटेशन बहुत क्विक है भाई, बहुत क्विक है इन लोगों का रोटेशन.
Southwest edge.
देखा ये रेक टीम रेक का रोटेशन चालू हो.
Did not have a hot drop for themselves.
भाई इन लोगों को मालूम है कि हम लोग क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना
There's a
है.
hot drop as Martin because it's been very quiet on that.
Yeah, I see.
Right. It's not been. I don't even know if they've taken any shots at one another just yet. They are still kind of locked in.
अबे अभी तो इन लोगों के तो पेशेंस देखो ना कितना है.
They have no supplies for this blank.
ड्रॉप क्लैश हुआ है, पेशेंस देखो ना कितना है इन लोगों में.
Crazy that this is happening.
अभी तक एक पे किसी मतलब दोनों टीम में तो दोनों टीम बैठी हुई है.
I think more so just a PMGC.
पेशेंस देखो ना कितना है यार इन लोगों में.
I don't really want to talk
ये तो
about
भाई
it,
उधर
just
उसका वेट
saying
कर.
it's just
कोई भी फर्स्ट नहीं पूछेगा. पेशेंस देखो ना भाई कितना है यार कि भाई हाँ तू आ
Shots at the arena, right?
तू आ मैं नहीं हूँ दोनों ऐसा ही.
I don't want to talk about it too much because
INF versus Rex.
if I was to talk about
INF versus Rex.
and I don't fully understand.
एक प्लेयर है INF पे. भागेगा भागेगा भागेगा भागेगा भागेगा. Rex का प्लेयर गया उधर.
He's being chased down. Silas was spotted, but he's got a shotgun. Silas has to dip behind the cover for just the time being. Actually,
नहीं नेल को किया था लेकिन
a nade? No, the pin's not going to be staying out of that one just yet.
almost break almost.
The cook not quite there. Has got
Almost.
Federal with an answer potentially. We're going to try and cook that one down.
No, first knock.
Nice.
First knock.
Should be easy pickings.
And even the first finish, first blood.
From Regnum Maybe not cleanly. There's still influence rage across the way, but the suppressive fire from Wild is good enough to keep his teammates safe.
Got 455 556, which is quite a bit of ammo there for Wild. He's being the entire ammo box for the whole team.
Double weapons there. Double fire.
जो भी stream पे नए आ रहे हो guys,
must be why.
Yeah.
make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe.
That can't be as well, surely.
Yeah, they're getting ready for the long game.
RDG versus INF
as well, considering they're so center.
There wasn't that much ammo on Silas. It was just what was left over. The UI was so surprised that he had that much ammo. He was like, got to keep looking at that for a little bit longer. But it wasn't on Silas.
Ah, I see. Weibo's going to rotate past Creative Fields here. It's a little bit of a longer rotate for them. Frustrating the last game. I think that for Weibo in that previous match, and I mean, I'd still
WBC third position
rotates there towards the end game.
Order, Kilo, Soup, or 33Z.
Up to what should be a really strong
33Z.
And then you get a
अरे यार अभी तक इतना पेशेंस चारों के चारों प्लेयर दोनों टीम के भाई
both teams don't want to do anything. For Burmese goals, they should just leave.
भाई अपना बंदा है
I mean, as soon as you try and leave the windows, like they'll take shots at the windows, right? That's what you're worried about. And
अपना बंदा उधर भाई अपना बंदा है अपना बंदा
basically none of Samartin is going to be looted as well. Could be pretty great for some of the other teams who are trying to find a home. Maybe some of our longer in the tooth teams out towards the southwest side. Boars, DRX, Nuclear Zone, all moving in, still bundled up a little bit around Picardo as the next zone comes in fairly soon. So maybe San Martin could be a more valuable transitional point than they expect, and they certainly won't have scouted it. I don't think they're going to be going in though. That's the thing. Where's the next zone?
जोन टीआर के लिए पास में जोन तो नया से पूरा टीआर के लिए पास में वो टीम देखे एकदम नीचे साइड एकदम देखना नीचे साइड एकदम बैक करके वो टीम देखो किधर है
honestly around Cruz de Valle as well. So if you some of these teams on the north side, you're getting quite good in the zone. I think Alliance is really looking to get a great game off the back of this.
ओपनिंग मिली इधर ओपनिंग मिली इधर किसी को बीजी वाला का एक नॉक आ जाए
not slap
मतलब
back.
बिजी वाले का एक नॉक हुआ है ऐसा
Do something. This is going to get rezzed, and Tony K is going to go back.
नहीं नॉक हो जाएगा वो उठा लेंगे उसको एयर डॉग लूटेड ऑर्डर ने ऑर्डर एयर डॉग लूट किया भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई भाई डब्ल्यूजी के दो पे
in towards NC2
एक फिनिश
This is, I mean, where was this earlier? They could have done this 5 to 10 minutes, well, not 10 minutes ago, but they could have done this 5 minutes ago.
Well, the thing is that E-Arena had the advantage, right? E-Arena absolutely had the advantage on this fight. Where
रिवाइव तो हो जाएगा रिवाइव तो हो
and
जाएगा
I'll explain why this is so funny after this.
डब्ल्यूजी चारों प्लेयर बचा लिए क्या नहीं नहीं एक वन कैजुअलिटी लेकिन
Still 3 players
एक
alive for Burmese goals.
एक को बचा लिए एक को दबाना पड़ेगा
But yeah, the thing is, it's on Burmese Ghouls to take that fight, to try and assault E-Arena, and E-Arena is just waiting for the next circle shift. And then E-Arena sees the movement off towards the northeast side, and they're like, well, we have to finish this fight now. Because you've got no choice, because this team is not doing anything underneath us, so we have to take the initiative, which is unideal. And the fact that E-Arena comes out on top is a bit surprising. But and to be fair, very well played. I don't blame E-Arena for this.
Difficult, but now they're on the ground floor and they can leave. But they're not. Okay. Holding the angle. Let them know. The ammo's going to be super low. They're going to have basic. They have no supplies. I mean, no meds, no nades, no smokes. No nothing. No armor for NC2.
they do look easy okay hold me
Especially when the blue zone's on you now.
रुक भाई रुक मैं को वहीं पे रुका देते वहीं पे रुके मेरे को देखने दे हां ऐसा ये ना क्लास बहुत एपिक है
It's literally ruined.
कॉलिंग वो इतना रिस्पांसिव है बहुत ज्यादा
They're just not surviving this. They're not getting through, and even if they do,
ये फायरिंग चल रही है चल रही है लेकिन भाई मैं आने भी नहीं दूंगा देखो पर कुछ ना कुछ भी कर
but the center of the circle is starting to get clogged up a little bit. Alliance.
भाई नॉक मार दिया नॉक मार दिया
Sakura. Okay, they stormed the staircase.
बिजी खत्म
On the drop down, and that is a
इतना क्विक मारा
solid take for E-Arena. But they need
वो
to
कूद के मारा उसने नीचे से
and they need to run as fast as their little legs can carry them, because right now
मैं देखो ये
they need to make up for lost time.
Yeah, a lot of lost time.
They're in big
I think
trouble.
for E-Arena as well, when you look at this, I think Max brings up a great point just in the analyst chat right now, where it's the first Miramar. If this happens again,
नहीं vehicle tracing नहीं हुआ
I'll be very upset.
शिवा से vehicle tracing नहीं हुआ
But for E-Arena, yeah, it really has
sorry
caused big problems the game. For Burmese Ghouls, they get absolutely nothing out of it. Absolutely nothing. 0 points. Nada. Regnum Kaya, though, we get to be back on board with these. I don't want to talk about E-Arena or Burmese Ghouls for the rest of the game. I'll wait and see the next Miramar and what happens there. I think it's okay to put that line of thought to bed for the time being.
Yes, better left for the future on that one. Regnum Kaya, they lost Zedwolf earlier during the rotate up towards
TR अभी भी है TR survive TR है TR survive में
I can't remember who was able to take them down, but they lost
stage 3 चालू हो
I
गया
believe to that rotate up to the north, but they are very, very central now, close towards
play zone से knock हो गए
Helium start to come on through. DRX
WBG Souk knock yeah finish
is spotted, taken down, and 3 players move into Torre Hamada.
Finish.
That northern side.
Souk finish.
And moving through the oil field. Trying to strike a good goal here for.
ये हो सकता है नहीं यार क्या हुआ इनको
These 3 teams
ये
moving in from that western side. They've swung all the way out on this edge, and very similar ideas, but now there are caltrops on the road that DRX are going to lay down. Nuclear zone cannot make through all the way through, and they'll divert south. So not losing anyone there. Good news.
Yeah, for Weibo, really wide wrap from them. Getting caught there is really unfortunate as well. But it's a good play from DRX to send up here so quickly to try and battle out teams that are trying to make that wide wrap, so Weibo get read into a little bit. Nuclear zone just cannot find anywhere safe to stay off the back of this one. You've got True Rippers down on the southeast side playing around that. Oh, don't show me it again. I mean, what's it
right now? Nothing.
Disappoint रहेंगे वो लोग उनसे
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, Oh my god, give me it.
वो aggression देखा?
Fair enough as well. I'd be hella upset.
वो aggression देखा?
Let's see if they
क्या देखी?
the 3 players for Influence Rage. A little boy
ये
inside with the
आया सिखाई, ये आया सिखाई, 2 player खत्म हुए.
around with, and looks like he might be able to handle them singly on his own as he steps out. No, he closes
2 player गए ये.
and gets the flushes onto 2. A beautiful drop down from the balcony. Quick on the draw. And
भाई ये कभी एक player में नहीं कहा उसको.
hang on a minute. No, he does. He's got the pump.
इनके पास शायद healing नहीं है.
With the low HP.
टीआर के पीछे टीम है यार, टीआर का बैक टीआर के पीछे टीम है, टीआर के पीछे टीम है.
Twisted Minds though. To finish off these two teams, I imagine this should be a cleanup coming through from Twisted Minds. You'd hope it was at least.
Mame.
And C2 very low HP, likely to have absolutely no mids either. Can't believe turning on the cross.
Okay. He's gonna get knocked flush there though. And his Twisted Minds putting a stop to this one. 2 players from Influence Rage. Yeah, they're just going to try and get out of there as the fight continues as well on our picture-in-picture. A lot of England's being found.
Hero, WBC hero.
Getting knocked out. Influence Rage. Heading for
मैं
the
finish
hill.
किया
Here.
उसको.
And ETSA.
Harsh, crazy यार, WBC hero को knock. Order knock हुआ.
He's keeping Rez's safe. Oh, he has to step off it. Hold the angle. No ammo on the back line. And this is going to be a full push for ETSH, but they're getting lined up for him. And the spray down continues. It's so nasty. These outside angles. And Twisted Minds might be able to third party this as well.
Shiva looking to get a little bit frosty.
Blow.
Tries to take down one on the outside. Gets a good bit of tag damage in, but Nuclear Zone still living off the back of this one. There is the wrap around the side. Starting to look worse and worse right now. And a good shot. Wow, very, very nice. Threaded the needle on that one. Shiva will get knocked by Walsh, though, off in the distance. It's a long shot. In the meantime, Weibo tried to make a wrap down towards the south. It wasn't meant to be, though. They were doing an okay job of it, but it got places, map, man. It's felt a little less
अपन नीचे आ गए.
today, I'll tell you that now.
अच्छा उन लोगों ने किल पॉइंट ले लिया ना, 11-11 हो गए. तो उनका कितना नहीं एलिमिनेशन उनके ज्यादा है ना बीएमएस में, इसीलिए.
I mean, the Twisted Minds have been third partying.
तनवीर सिद्दीकी, congratulations bro, 100 subscribers.
Maybe.
Andy Bull.
Link into the south edge of Cruz de Valle. We could find there instead. But these shots just
Wait, yeah.
Doing very well. I think Shotgun's a bit ambitious.
So कहाँ
Even then, that is under.
हो गए 100 subscribers.
A lot of people sent out that
हाँ man, हो गए.
On the point.
हो गए भाई, बढ़िया.
From the southeast moving.
हो गए guys.
To stay out of dodge.
So 100 subscribers, man. Achievement.
Over on Miramar, though, do not see this one too often. The Flash in a great spot.
हो गए.
Center. Depends on these next coming.
Come on, more achievement to go. अब अपन दूसरा रखेंगे 200. जल्दी होइए, वो भी जल्दी हो जाएंगे. Oh जी, thank you भाई, thank you.
Nice answer by Cause.
Thank you so much भाई, thank you so much.
Right in his ear. Blasts him sideways, down, needs a res, needs some help, but Cause.
Like कर लो भाई, सब लोग like कर लो स्ट्रीम को, सब स्ट्रीम को like कर दो.
Trying to hold on around the cactus. Prickly as
सब लोग स्ट्रीम को like कर दो.
Will find the knock, get the flush, but he's the last to stand for Boars.
टीआर का फाइट हो रहा है बोर से.
Side having a tough time.
टीआर ने कहा इतना लंबा स्प्लिट कौन खेलता है?
Maybe third party this.
इतना लंबा स्प्लिट कौन खेलता है? नहीं, इतना लंबा स्प्लिट मत खेलो भाई, थोड़ा कम.
Havlik on a solo dash towards Weibo. They're going to spray out as he tries to go for the approach. Half his HP bar gone.
हो गए भाई.
Able to stay alive, but
100 subscribers did.
Leaves him as a solo now for Weibo.
Yeah, could have potentially stayed up as 2 there, but sadly down to 1.
Phoenix.
Good parties come through from True Rippers, though. They control a lot of space now on this eastern side. Their only really big contestants now are DRX all the way to the north in Toya Armada. You will have to wrap through them eventually, but True Rippers just waiting for this run out and Faradu.
Stage 5, you can dip into the blue for a little bit. Grabbing an extra vehicle, probably not a terrible idea because you're going for a bit of a mad dash.
101.
They're going to have the angles on it.
Thank you. Means a lot. Means a lot. Means a lot.
And they can stop here and heal.
It
though.
means a
That's the
lot.
big
It
benefit.
means a lot.
The smoke on the buggy, not super favorable.
101. Thank you. It means a
Many
lot.
choices, easy for Bad Boy.
It means a lot.
Have to play with what he's got. And Kaikse does take some shots. It's going to divert him back into town. I think the smoke there, forcing him to make that decision. You can see the low HP on that buggy.
Trying to figure out what DRX's plan is. Because I don't know if they know they're not in the circle. They do need to move down towards the south now. I think they could have controlled a lot more on that eastern side and potentially got a big amount of value from it. So now they're forced just to send out into the open. True Rippers are going to wrap way back down south.
Put up. नहीं बचा रे उल्टा इसने फोड़ दिया
A nice nade from Easy for Bad
लेकिन भाई पीछे प्लेयर है मत जा अपने कितने 3 बंदे बाकी है 3 बंदे बाकी है 2 एलिमिनेशन लिए है भाई रुको होल्ड करो टीआर होल्ड करो मारो लेकिन होल्ड करके मारो अपने को प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट भी चाहिए ये मैच में कि अपन एटलीस्ट जाए 8 9 तक 10 नहीं 7 8 तक जाए अपन अगर भी मुश्किल है वो सीधे निकल दो बात की बात है लेकिन लाइक जो भी स्ट्रीम पे नया आ रहा है मेक श्योर टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब अपना गोल अचीव हो गया 101 सब्सक्राइबर्स डन 100+ सब्सक्राइबर्स हो गए चैनल पे थैंक यू सो मच एक स्मॉल अचीवमेंट मेरा पूरा हो गया थैंक यू सो मच गाइस थैंक यू सो मच
Yeah, that's disappointing from DRX. That is very disappointing from DRX. Going down to Easy for Bad Boy there is super fortunate. And it kind of gives you flashbacks to when they were playing against Kara, where they were so preoccupied with getting the res that they forgot that they could just take the 3v1. Yeah, I'm very comforted by that. That's not a good game from DRX there.
Crazy.
Unfortunate.
Crazy भाई crazy thank you so much
Up towards those top 3.
like करो guys like करो स्ट्रीम को सिर्फ सब्सक्राइब भी सब करो स्ट्रीम को लाइक भी करो लाइक भी करो स्ट्रीम को थोड़ा लाइक काउंट भी बढ़ा दे स्ट्रीम का भी लाइक कर दे गाइस लाइक स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दे फटाफट लाइक काउंट बढ़ाओ
4 for DRX, which, you know, it's not a complete bust of a game, but it's not ideal. However, there's no standout elim leader right now. And the middle of the tables all still being alive is going to push this lobby back to a little bit of normalcy, I imagine.
Yeah, dropping straight over towards Crucify as well. This is cool.
हमने टीआर अभी भी जितना ना टीआर आ रही अब प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट की तरफ बढ़ रही है टीआर थोड़ा जेली को ना जेली थोड़ा भी गेम समझ रहा है मेरे को लग रहा है ऐसा या इधर क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है जेली को धीरे-धीरे समझ आ रहा है
Over quite a few separate squads here. Olio very low versus Freak as well as Walsh, and Lord just rocks up in.
Bro, क्या मारा उसने? पहले दूर से लेकिन क्या मारा उसने यार?
Regnum Kai with a long range shot.
क्या मारा यार? बहुत अच्छा मारा उसने यार, बहुत अच्छा मारा.
5 elims.
Crazy.
Grabbing a point from that fight as well. A couple of shots land on their mark.
Like करो guys, like करो.
And it will be probably straight towards the open ground around Regnum Kaya. There are a lot of rocks, a lot of death blades, but it's getting to them that
बस thank you.
खाना नीचे में उसमें.
Twisted Minds is basically just a hail.
इधर आजकल लाइव नहीं आएगा यार.
110 सब्सक्राइबर.
The Flash are looking to clear out.
ये सब गए ना पंटर. ये सब कर रहे हैं.
For a long time now they're
छोड़ो ना.
off of it. But they're looking to clear.
ये मैं इसको कर भी डालूँ.
Extremely split
ठीक है. तो रोटी वाली कुछ ले लेना.
हाँ मैं इतना ही खाऊंगा वैसे भी.
Bounce on that. Actual trigonometry in the building.
Goodness me. All right. You can't find him, though. I think they naded upstairs. They didn't realize that they'd actually naded
Exactly.
downstairs.
How did they... Where was the bounce even to? Did it bounce off a wall down the stairs?
It must have done, right? It must have been through the staircase and into the room.
Guys, like karo.
No idea. That is actually crazy. That's a 1 in a million nade right there. Brilliant
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm glad that they were also confused. They're like, hey, what happened to my nade?
Where actually was it, guys? I don't remember. I left someone.
I thought that was
somewhere.
It's almost sad because I thought it was an insane nade, but it turns out it was just complete luck on their end.
Hey, a point's a point.
True Rippers towards the end game.
Sorry.
It's so
Sorry.
far. Playing very much on the south side. On the
चलो अपना बैक से क्लियर है आ गई है सब टीम
slowly rotate from building to
मैंने अभी जोन किस तरफ जाता हूँ जोन किस तरफ जाता हूँ मेन ये चीज है
getting in towards our next zone now and the flash
जोन किस तरफ जाता है अपने पे जोन अपने पे जोन अपने पे
anchor right over to where Nerzed was playing, but it is Influence Rage with the most central position but not the safest spot in the world.
No, and they've only got 2 players to hold it down with as well. It's very open. A lot of sight lines can come through. The benefit is that in the urban situation right now, the buildings around them are kind of holding each other back, right? So they sit in this dead zone that no one's really going to compete for until the later stages. So potential to get a solid top 4 here for Influence Rage. Just keep those points coming and see what they can do. Twisted Minds, though, no such luck. They're on the outside. They have to try and come in from the cold.
इग्नोर करना
The flash here is probably the best idea to go for. With the flash lightly looking further towards the center of the circle, that is your likely play. Surprised Hero's still in this game, by the way, but a long.
अपने बंदे भी बचे अभी अपने बंदे भी बचे
I don't know if you quite caught it there, but Geek are taking shots towards him so they know his position.
Moves through the building quite well. Has got that smoke. Get up to the wall next. I mean, this run out is being held completely.
WBG was a gate.
I got a little bit of damage. He's going to step out for more, but the clip is going to be empty, and the reload's there. Hero not that time. Stays back, but the name
almost
goes a little bit long.
almost.
Maybe they think he's still inside now. We'll have to wait and see. Twisted Minds actually making their approach further up to the north side than they previously were, but Loxy has that lineup. It's Freak as well. That should be coming on through. An immediate flush. And Team Flash, the assistance coming on through from Regnum Kaya. Heroes making the the dash across the open ground in the meantime. Twisted Minds, I mean, against Loxy, this side angle, you don't imagine they were going to be able to get through, but they've managed to push a lot closer than is comfortable for Regnum Kaya. Meanwhile, Heroes standing up for the fight against EK on the other side of things.
WBG versus G क्या लगता है हीरो मार दे अरे यार वो एंटी
with the shotgun, and finally he'll be the one to put it down, but goodness me, that got a little bit fraught, a little bit too close for comfort.
My turn, no your turn, no my turn, your turn, my turn.
एंटी
Yeah, swinging around the crazy.
लाइव कब तक करोगे ये आधा पौना घंटा और है इसके बाद एक और मैच बाकी है
Thought he would. For Twisted Minds, the reason I wanted to wrap them over towards the north side and then push through the flash is just because those.
अपने बंदे तो अभी फिलहाल सेफ है
it is
अपने बंदे सेफ है फिलहाल मैं बेटर गिरा दिया
much better spot.
नहीं यार बिल्कुल
Well played. In the midst of all that.
फिलहाल तो अपने बंदे सेफ है जोन भी उन पे ही है हाँ जोन भी है अपने पे जोन भी है
Another late game finish with Regnum Kaya, and I think that they are starting to heat up a little bit now.
लाइक करो स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो सब
That's what you want to see. Getting a little bit warm. Hopefully it's not hot under the collar. Starting to get nervous now. Kevin, you're not going to be able to get that tire back on, I'm afraid. The blue zone's too close, and it's stage 8 blank. We have 6 teams remaining.
अपने बंदे भी
going into the final circle.
अपने बंदे आ रहे भाई आ रहे टॉप 10 तो आ रहे बहुत टाइम के बाद अपने बंदे टॉप 10 है मतलब बहुत टाइम के बाद पहली बार अभी टॉप 10 आ रहे
but nobody's going to push them just yet. It will have to wait until this next zone for someone to make that crash.
क्या मारा
As soon as you make that crash first, bang, you're gone.
Yeah, we're playing whack-a-mole at the end of the game. Which one of these small outposts are the players?
क्या मारा वो उसने
You're going to have to expend 18 nays to find out.
How many?
Absolutely. You know, it's a real treacherous land out there. Twisted Minds nades over towards Team Flash. Doesn't connect more than a little bit of damage. I reckon Kai can have to move forwards too.
अपने बंदे अभी मस्त
We are going into the graveyard.
The flash. Good shots over towards Twisted Minds. And I think that their time is coming to an end here. John, sadly.
Bro, 1 minute में 2.
Extremely difficult. Chudo, final player here inside the building. And Win has a nade to throw back.
Yeah.
But even this run out. Regnum Kaya sidelines on it. As do True Rippers, who have been a little bit quiet, but, you know, get into an end game off the back of this one. Hydro taking some great shots, assisted by the flash on the side, and Regnum Kaya may be the next to fall here.
And they're into the
भाइयों मारना शुरू करो भाइयों.
Team Flash, do they know that
बंदू मारना शुरू करो बंदे.
No. Because they've been very quiet for a while now. I mean, Diego...
मार उसको. अरे नेट लेना.
Team Flash, they do have 4 players, so they can go for trades, but if it's at the opportune moment, Influence Rage could really play a massive spoiler here. They're playing 2 in, 2 out. And True Rippers maybe think that they are facing one team on the inside. Law's going to give... Surely he's given the position away now. Okay, they spotted him. But he's drawing them towards Diego. Oh, a big 1-2 punch here. Law does go down, unfortunate. And that is going to mean that likely Diego is not long for it either. Spotted by Regnum Kaya. So the moles have been whacked blank. No worry there. Regnum Kaya going to move in with 2. True Rippers with 3, but Team Flash hold the inside now. With all 4 of their players up on the wall, Regnum Kaya take a lot of damage. There's the lineup that you're looking for. And True Rippers are going to take them to pieces.
Crazy!
Very difficult though.
Crazy!
Able to do a little bit more, but no knocks found in response.
Heal कर. हाँ. नहीं यार वो पकड़ा जाएगा. वो तो पकड़ा जाएगा.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming here for Team Flash, and they've worked this zone quite well. Should be a 21.
We are in top 2.
As True Rippers are sat up against the wall, and the blue is only.
I am 2v4 here.
Now the Flash moves up over towards the church.
Hey, Hydro.
हाँ यार जो बंदा है बच्ची.
Outside, but he goes long, but he should have looked out short.
NT.
I mean, they're taking small
बहुत
chances,
बड़ी.
but it's not enough for the whole show.
Top 2 भी बहुत अच्छा
To
है.
be able to take down a chicken dinner held out on the north side against so many teams, and they were the team to take the initiative. They did not fall prey to the influence position either.
बढ़िया.
They kept their wits about them, and they take home a very strong chicken dinner.
Pretty respectable rotation going through from True Rippers as well, down towards the south side. They cleared up towards the north.
Jelly चिल्ला रहा है.
Towards the south. I think they could be happy with that game.
मुझे चिकन ना मेरा.
I think there's just discussions going on there, but I think that they could have been happy with that.
चिकन मिस किया तो डाले आया. मेरा तो jelly ऐसे करता है.
Especially when that team gains so much control over towards the graveyard.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic little run out. Towards the end there. Everybody held the edge lines nice and successfully, but only one team could stand atop the pack. Streaking out in the lead is Team Flash.
Points table.
And in their first ever appearance in the PUBG Mobile Global Championships, Team Flash get their first chicken dinner on
First ever appearance.
Max. That's got to be so huge for this team.
Definitely, they're going to be ecstatic about a finish like this here, especially able to wrap it up in style versus the likes of True Rippers. And a not easy position to maneuver your way through, right, Niptro? You're going through this graveyard, which, as Blank said, you just got to hope you can find the right spot where all the players are hiding. It's like battleship game here. And they were able to find it for some of the players eventually, and that was going to be the end of Influence Rage. But yeah, Flash, they knew they had the man advantage. They had full control of the circle. You might as well push up. And those 2 extra points are going to be looking real good on those leaderboards.
Yeah, really excited about this team, honestly. It's not uncommon to see a team that's, fresh out the gate, ready to go into PMGC their first season in to get a win. But often we see that on day 3, after they've had a few days to really understand it works, right? But for a team to come in game 5 and get a big Win. Look
तो
at
इधर
the
कुछ आया नहीं था मालूम तुम लोग
look at Win
कहीं भी
going
नहीं
through
आया
it. 1,000 damage.
भी तो जाके मेरा
This is
feels
a
like
12
no way
elimination
mate
win
ये
for
much
them
better
on
भाई
their first day.
भाई खाना खाने के बाद जो फीलिंग आती है ना कसम से इतना प्यारा लगता है खाना खाने के बाद कि जन्नत मिल गई भाई जन्नत पेट भर जाता है सब कुछ अरे वाओ और क्या चाहिए पेट भर गया तो बस और क्या चाहिए बट फॉर दिस गेम टीआर वेल प्लेड भाई वेल प्लेड चिकन हो सकता था अपना लेकिन कोई नहीं एंटी एंटी
big majority of the fields of teams trying to push in.
फिर से एक बार कम बैक मारेंगे बाउंस बैक मारेंगे और एक और फिर चिकन के लिए ट्राई करेंगे मैंने बोला है तुम चिकन लाओगे मैं ऑन स्ट्रीम नाचूंगा तुम चिकन लाओ मैं ऑन स्ट्रीम नाचूंगा तुम्हारे लिए भाई ऑन स्ट्रीम नाचूंगा
But it was just still so heavily favored in the favor then of Flash that it was
ऑन स्ट्रीम नाचूंगा भाई तुम तुम चिकन लाओ तो गाइस जो भी स्ट्रीम पे है मेक श्योर टू लाइक सब्सक्राइब और शेयर कर सकते हो आप शेयर भी कर सकते हैं अपने फ्रेंड्स जो भी स्ट्रीम पे है मेक श्योर टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब फाइट में अच्छी है लेकिन थोड़ा अपने को ना एलिमिनेशन पॉइंट पे भी और वर्क करना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब थोड़ा और मार देना अपन तो दो पॉइंट मतलब जितना मारेंगे उतना पॉइंट मिलेगा ना वही है अपने को मारने के साथ प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट दोनों देखने मेन गेम इधर वही है ना आपको यहाँ पे पेशेंस स्किल टैलेंट हार्ड वर्क सब करना सब चाहिए ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे पास स्किल से तो मेरा हो गया मेरे पास टैलेंट तो हो गया मेरा चलो मेरे पास पेशेंस है मैं रुक के मार दूंगा मैं इतना हार्ड वर्क करूंगा नहीं इधर जाइए जितना चीज सब में है ना एक एक करके उतना चीज यहाँ पे पूरे सब एक साथ चाहिए पूरा वो एक में चाहिए ऐसा
definitely enjoyed their approach
yes
northern side because it's a position where if you end up clashing
eliminate 5 elimination चलो elimination भी अच्छा मिला अपने को और 6 पॉइंट इसका मिला प्लेसमेंट का 11 पॉइंट भाई वेरी गुड भाई 22 पॉइंट्स वी आर इन टॉप 11 वेल डन बॉयज वेल डन एक और मैच है वापस करेंगे अच्छे से एकदम क्लास करो मस्त खेलो बस एक मैच और
And Flash, as we talked about already, Neptro, that northern side is a bit elevated.
Guys, chat में कौन है? मेरे को कौन है? एक बार मेरे को बोलो।
Which that happened with.
मेरे को chat में मैसेज करो मेरे को बता। Chat में कौन है?
None of them survived because that position was used so efficiently by Team Flash.
Yeah, it really, really was, and even down to the final.
Chat में कौन है? इस chat में।
I mean, you see.
एक बार chat में मैसेज करो ना।
They're really moving all the way around the zone, trying to find a good spot, finally get in onto the south side, and that also works really, really well for them. But it's just that final clash between those two that Flash was just able to just push forward and really corner.
अब क्यों हो रहा है नेट को स्ट्रीम में अब थोड़ी देर खत्म हो जाएगी थोड़ी देर में अब क्यों भाई क्यों
Oh, they're going to be stoked about that one for sure. But True Rippers, just to go on that one before I wrap up my point on this compound, is they actually had a really good game.
फ्रेम ड्रॉप हो गया यार मेरा फ्रेम ड्रॉप होगा क्यों भाई
Sure, it didn't quite work out. They don't get the win, but I think that was the right way to play a city finish, which is just make sure to push teams away from you and just clear the edge, and that makes it a little bit safer for you to keep your players alive while taking. Graveyard of hunting compound is they actually had a
6 placement point 5 11 हाँ चलेगा
really good game plan, which
well done guys
point sponges
MVP 7 elimination 1000 का damage
7th place
6 knockouts
22-point game. You're moving up the leaderboard.
Very good, very good.
Looking forward to see where they're ending up.
But
I got a big feeling here, Max, that this particular group is going to be very top heavy. So if you want to make it into
we are in top 10 we are in top 10
sir, indeed. Woo! All the way up to 3rd place here.
Flash third में WBC को पीछे छोड़ा है 10 पॉइंट से पीछे WBC
one chicken dinner, of course, 16 placement points total, having a great moment.
Great man.
Red Weibo though getting pushed out of the big 3. Quite unfortunate for them. Still 43 points, rating them up to 40. So
well done, man. Well done.
So the gap is not impossible to close. You can still make it up even if you're at the bottom of the rankings. There's still that potential. And actually, looking at True Rippers here, such a good performance, in fact, Niptura. They're out of the bottom 5. They're in the middle pack. This is looking good. True Rippers definitely looking very strong compared to what we saw in it originally from Orangutan.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice right off the bat in the first day. I just hope that they continue this kind of consistency throughout the few days, because we've seen it in teams before where they have a really good first day and then they kind of drop off. I, on the other hand, will never shut up about Flash, because based off of the interview we heard earlier, he's going, we don't have any pressure. We're making sure we just play our game like it's any other tournament. And
We
look
don't have
where
any
they are.
pressure.
They're in top 3. I keep saying this about new teams. Relax. And finally, we have a team that seems to have, at least so far, been able to do that. And look at where we're at. We've got a top 3 team. Win is number 1 for this game. 1,000 damage, 7 eliminations. Like, it's so good.
I wonder how he picked his name, though. Like, some of his teammates, oh, we love to win games. He's like, say that again.
Flash win.
It sounded quite
Flash win. इसका नाम Flash win इसका नाम.
contender from his team back in SEA. He's doing it once again. And looking at the
एक मिनट chat में message डाल दो.
alongside Snowix and Hardboy when it comes to players from Uzbekistan, I would say personally he is the single best player from Uzbekistan, even over the players of Upgrade, and he is stepping up to the plate here. He's having a great first day so far in Group Red.
Yeah, he really is. It's really been nice to see him. He's, again, one of those old names, right? We've had him around for a good few years, so it's nice to see him back on these leaderboards for PMGC, Jukes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I love about this lobby is so many historic esports PUBG Mobile names are in here, and we see some new blood, right, that are really popping off the rip. That's fun to see as well. You know, going back to where we talk about True Rippers, Team India, right? For the first 4 matches, 11 points. This last game, they double that. So they get 11 points in just 1 match. That puts them up to 22. Trying to get to that 3rd place position because... Man, I'll tell you, last chance is going to be crazy. I think that if we're going to see True Rippers in the grand finals, I really do think they need to do it here and now. That's a 31-point gap already, you know? So, honestly, the pressure is on. I know that Artura, you're like, hey, all you got to do is just relax. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely easier said than done, for sure. I mean, it's so crazy to see Team Flash perform like this.
Yeah.
PMGC day 1. But for a lot of these veteran names and squads, Max, man, I think, like, man, you're going to have to make it happen here in this last Miramar.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very important to kind of lock down your position after day 1, because of course after that you're going to go back to your hotel room, going to start to prep, do your research, maybe check the hot drops, etc., and make sure it doesn't happen anymore. But you want to try and have as good an opening day as possible, because otherwise, I mean, as much as we say, oh, just stay calm, relax, you know, they're playing for $3 million, you know, on the line right now. So I think nerves would get to you, and I would say that is quite natural. So you want to try and relax. If you have a good opening day, it's going to make it easier for you to be a bit more
येलो का अटक गया वापस स्ट्रीम अटकी इन लोग की
whatsoever until you've qualified.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's really a strat we've been seeing a lot in a lot of these teams over the last few stages, right? We saw APG do it where they had just one massive day. They were super chill the next 2 days. I think similarly here, EA, if they continue in this last game to have another big game, I think the next couple of days, they could chill a little bit more. So definitely seeing that strat come in from a lot of these teams.
It's a huge advantage to start off so strong. You're gonna have away with the lobby. Teams are gonna fear you a little bit more. You know, day 1 is usually a little bit scary on a normal side because if you have such a big lead, teams usually like really keep an eye on your rotations. If you're going to study one squad, you're going to study the top team, right? But there's a lot of teams that are having good, consistent performances here. One, again, is Influence Rage, Max, right? They had 3 top 2 finishes, right? Then they go out with 5 eliminations and come back with another good, solid performance here. Influence Rage is doing really, really well.
Yeah, but not top 2, so I'm disappointed. Sorry, if I don't see Influence
top 4, yeah, you're right.
They're washed. No, no, they did struggle a little bit because I think it's not them playing a bad game here. It's just unfortunately they fell victim to the game plan of True Rippers, which actually I want to take on a bit on True Rippers. I feel like they were playing a bit too aggro at the start of the day. They were playing a bit just very aggressive, but there wasn't really a game plan behind it. As compared to this game, Hot Jukes, where guess what? Actually, a game plan that was set up really well. Sure, they still don't win the game, but for me, it shows potential that this squad, macro-wise, has that potential. So very happy with True Rippers. But before I throw it to you, Hodrix, to send it to the game, San Martin, I better not see it. Okay, E-Arena, Burmese Ghouls, I don't care what you do. That fight happens, I give you one Joker. You got it. You wasted it. I see it happen again. You guys are trolling. I better not.
Well, we better not see it, that's for sure, because there's so many spots wide open. Let's see if you can go ahead and make those movements. Well, we got the last Miramar of the day, guys. Day number 1 about to wrap up. Let's go ahead and take it to our casters, John Allen and Blank, for one more time.
सॉरी गाइस, एक इम्पोर्टेंट कॉल आ गया था छोटा। इम्पोर्टेंट मतलब दीदी का कॉल था, दीदी का कॉल उठाना पड़ता है ना, नहीं उठाएगा तो दीदी चढ़ जाती है, अब भी चढ़ गई। दीदी कितना कॉल करते हो, अब नहीं आता क्या? ऐसे ऐसे नहीं दीदी यार, चलता है होने चलाएगी तो कौन चलाएगा? भाई ये मैच टीयर का एक और अच्छा आ जाएगा, मजा आ जाएगा।
Very dangerous zone indeed that we don't really want to have.
Top 10 पे ना, वो top 8, top 7 पे आ जाएगा ना तो और मजा आएगा।
Surely. Yeah, they must do, right? Right? Yeah. No? Maybe. Have to wait and see. Arena are out. Burmese.
टीयर पर ड्रॉप उतारने का देखो ना,
Quite close to each other.
हर्ष इधर है, रिको इधर है, जेली इधर है, और इसका नाम टीयर हाइड्रो जो भी है। देखो ना ये लोग कैसे उतरते हैं, कसम से भाई बहुत क्रेजी उतरते हैं, क्रेजी। समय दिया है ना।
Look at that, they're split, they're around.
चलो चलो चलो ठीक है, कोई नहीं कोई नहीं कोई नहीं। जोन भी तो ऑलमोस्ट अपने मतलब पास नहीं है।
It's very, very packed though down towards Picardo, and that's giving me a little pause.
नहीं, ये मैच मेरे को लग रहा है तो टफ जाएगा, ये मैच टफ जाएगा, मैं बोल रहा हूँ अपने लिए ना, ये मैच टफ जाएगा। अगर जेली ने अच्छे से हैंडल कर लिया तो मजा आ जाएगा। जेली को हैंडल करना चाहिए अच्छे, जेली ने हैंडल कर दिया ना भाई तो क्लास, चुम्मा मजा आ जाएगा एकदम। जेली को हैंडल बस कर ले, जेली कर लेना बस। और देखो बीजी का प्लेयर ही उधर है, लेफ्ट साइडर्स पे।
Oh, that's nice of you. Very friendly indeed.
They're welcome.
I'm glad.
Off towards the western side we go then. Well, Potso being held by Twisted Minds. Weibo going a little bit further down towards wanting the Weibo. God, it has been a shocking day for VP, hasn't it?
It's not been great. No, it's definitely not been great. They have got 8 points, and it looks like that may be close to all they get here. There's been 1 or 2 moments where they've chimed in and had a decent showing, but yeah, it's been messy. It's been
First blood VP का, VP
they really are
15th पोजीशन पे है और इनके 2 बंदे डाउन हैं।
down towards the bottom end of the table.
और इनको प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट मिले, एलिमिनेशन पॉइंट्स नहीं, प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट नहीं, मतलब
you got nuclear zone, you got
पॉइंट्स, मतलब प्लेसमेंट नहीं, पॉइंट्स इनके आते हैं।
further ahead you got Burmese.
एटलीस्ट अपनी टीम थोड़ी बेटर कर रही है। 2 पॉइंट का बफर है 9 में,
The 11th place bubble.
9 पॉइंट का बफर है 8 में,
right now for Twisted Minds.
और
5 games that we've had. That's just shy.
13 पॉइंट का बफर है
average
7th में, 13.8 टोटल। अगर ऐसे खेलते जाए ना तो अपन टॉप 3 में आ सकते हैं गाइस, अपन इजीली टॉप 3 में आ सकते हैं।
It's a fairly low average, so
इजीली टॉप 3 में आ सकते हैं अपन, इजीली।
get you out of the bottom 5. That will get harder as time goes on. Malloy, not the last of Virtus Pro, but you're certainly going to feel like it right now. He's got a pump action shotgun, no helmet, no armor, no meds.
Bro, chance tha.
Opens the door. They know where he is now. It's going to be a full descent onto his position.
Clutch!
Go though and giving them some trouble. 1, 2. Oh, we nearly connected on that third one. Oh, that was dangerous. Oh, that would have been so bad for Ark if.
भाई वो उनको कर देता एक बार के लिए।
I thought Glory was going to be snuffed out there too.
मुझे लगा निकाल देगा वो, 1v4 कर देगा वो। इसे गेम खेलिए
Down in 15th place, but doing it in style. On the other end of things for Nuclear Zone.
ARC किधर है ARC ये रही
There is not much
भाई क्लास
reaction going on in that reactor at the moment.
Sorry, if you're going to talk about control media and nuclear reactors, you've got to get it right.
What did you say?
Normally carbon or boron control rods, I believe. Typical.
Yeah. What was the old one?
I'm not sure. You talking about? I don't know. Are you talking about one of the
again my net get dropped
Totally sure.
Yeah, the RBM.
क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए मत बोलना बस डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that didn't go so well.
No, it didn't. Anyway, let's not talk about that too much.
Hey, look, it's interesting history, and hopefully they're going to be able to recover from their meltdown and see if they can get up towards the top spot, bring out some of that plutonium power. You know?
ये एक चक्कर में मैच नहीं देख पाता हूँ ठीक से ये भी एक चक्कर में नेट की वजह से मालूम
Reverse up the hill. Yes,
फिर ये एक चक्कर में मैं मैच नहीं देख पाता हूँ ठीक से
as well. So fair enough. Can't believe
अब आया वापस
I'm
आया अच्छे से आया
to the side of a mountain, but here we are in PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
That's where it all takes place.
You love to see it. Spider cars. Clambering up all sorts of mountains. I mean, that's what E-Arena were able to leverage, right? With the buggy, which is generally the most sticky of the vehicles. Was able to get up to that super duper high ground, isolated position that Sakura was able to sit on and rain from up on high. Rain hell from above. Terrible time for everyone else. Well, that's what afforded him that opportunity. DRX moving in, close to the blue zone, leaving Torre Hamada. And Blank, I think I can confirm that we did not have a hot drop this time. We're into minute, what is it? We're 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Hey, we're fine. We didn't have a hot drop.
Yeah, again, I think that making those adjustments from one game to the next is correct. Especially here in Group Rare, we've got 3 days to make it to the top of the tables. I think for Burmese Ghouls, it's much more of a... It's a nice thing to do for them. Purely for E-Arena. It's quite sportsman-like, where E-Arena is currently in first place. You're basically saying we're not going to ruin all your Miramars. Obviously, they're ruining their own, but changing it this early is going to not create massive problems for E-Arena going forward. And E-Arena actually has a chance right now. So no matter what happens, I think for Burmese Ghouls, it is very sportsmanlike.
First or second में सिर्फ 6 पॉइंट का डिफरेंस है भाई ना फर्स्ट और सेकंड में सिर्फ 6 पॉइंट का डिफरेंस
It is generally more of a self-interested.
अभी कहते हैं सिर्फ बीपी के ही 3 पे हुए बाकी सबके चिंता में
So I think that
भाई
I think a lack of holding a
जोन यूनाइटेड क्यों खा रहे हैं इनको एआरसी वालों को देखो जरा
I do get where you're coming from, and I think I generally
I've seen people ruin
ये फाइट हुई शायद आया ना
teams games before doing that.
Yeah, that's
multiple
fair.
times.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I know what's the thought.
They have adjusted. They're more concerned with their own points.
Bro, sure. Let's show.
They'll allow the arena to continue unchallenged, or at least for the time being. Zedwolf, he's been knocked from quite a distance away here. Flash of... Put the beam on.
TR in zone. मेरे को लग रहा है अपने पे zone आ रहा है.
To go for the rescue.
मेरे को लग रहा है अपने पे zone आ रहा है.
Not quite able to get that flush. The smoke's there. While they're still taking shots, they are Shell's trying to...
अपने पे zone आया. वो बात नहीं. आ गया अपने पे zone. ये बहुत बड़ा shift लिया है इन्होंने. Shift का बहुत बड़ा. Shift बड़ा है इस zone का.
Absolutely, over towards where currently Regnan Kai is playing a very, very good circle for them to get on with. I do sort of agree with the desk that calling yourself win is a little bit on the nose. I'm just waiting for the day when we get a player called PMGC 2026 champion. I would love that, and I think someone should do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only because it would be funny if you did win, but it would also be hilarious even if you didn't, and I would not make fun of you for it.
I feel like that's Kitsune's new name, no? He needs a new name.
That's, you know what? I was making a joke. You're being mean. You're being mean.
Well, you know, that's what you get. That's what you get for not qualifying.
जल्दी ये मैच भी कमाल कर दे अपन टॉप 8 में आ जाए तो और अच्छा है सेफ पोजीशन हो जाएगी एक और थोड़ी ये अपने पास 2 दिन है टॉप 3 आने के लिए डे 2 में मचा देना अपने को डे 2 में मचा
Weibo Gaming now as well. Spores, maybe not quite as much of a threat, but still a presence that you do not really want to cross if you can help it. And they will be able to consolidate to the east side of Montenuevo, out west of Power Grid and Picardo. All the other teams are going to try and find their home. There was a lot of teams further to the north, up towards Crater Fields, which means that this north
अरे I think कब से जोन में ही है भाई जोन से ही आए जा रहे हैं अभी और भी जोन में ही अच्छा अपनी टीम जोन सर्कल के अंदर है सेफर खेल लिए वो ज़्यादा अच्छा है कि थोड़ा सेफ खेल के किल्स उठा रहे प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट ले रहे वो बहुत बढ़िया वरना स्टार्टिंग 2 मैच तो अपना बॉटम ऑफ द टेबल अभी एटलीस्ट अपन मिड ऑफ द टेबल तो आ रहे
over towards the center of this one. Ragnum Kai is very lucky to actually have some kind of position to play which is safe.
चलो निकल गई
Bookie is salvageable.
It's fine.
Yeah. Bit awkward getting that one caught. Slightly delays the rotate. Not that it really matters. There's not many teams in this area anyway. Ahead of you is Weibo on that front side. Burmese Ghouls get themselves a central position ahead of E-Arena as well, so they can do a little bit more on this match. But once again, it is none other than the Flash towards a lovely spot to play from. A little bit claustrophobic, but the only thing getting away, but they can maintain this. It remains in circle. And they do have a good chance from this spot.
Next circle.
112
seconds, just under 10 now.
जोन अपने पे भाई
Pop, it does continue
जोन अपने पे है
of Burmese Ghouls of Regnum Kaya influence
अपने पीछे देखने एक टीम भी ARC क्या होता है फाइट होगा अगर वाइप कर दिया ना भाई मजा आ जाए
southwest edge to keep up with the pack at the top. Weibo though with a more difficult rotate.
पीछे मतलब थोड़ा बिसाइड में है अपने लेकिन अपने बिसाइड में ही है
laying down into them from DRX, and Twisted Minds have Chudo up in front of them, so Weibo having a tough time, and that is going to be exactly why they were
WG33
but it is a point taken away from
अभी तो अपन फाइट नहीं लिए
I think I was a bit of an early push coming through from Weibo there. Really fully have the information needed over towards that northeast side. What I will say is it's very weird seeing China being as aggressive as they have been throughout all the lobbies we've seen play. I think if Tiamba was playing like they did on day 3, they could have easily qualified. But again, it's still interesting that even Tiamba had it in their wheelhouse to be extremely aggro in these games.
थर्ड गेम में तो एक पोजीशन में
Especially from Weibo as well, who Suk as well, 33.
Team tie, 98 points.
Split off angle players.
Fucking crazy.
I don't know where they're going right now.
See where they can go. Walsh drawn short against Alliance. He's going to be the rest of Twisted Minds trying to flee the scene. And I don't know how successful that's going to be. Freak, very, very low, has to stop off for a heal. This isn't in the next zone, but it's closer to it than Alliance are. And it might be that Alliance have to push through this same ground as well. Potential to be a little bit of a stronghold, but not if Lord goes down. That's what DRX
They're seeing the multiple shots in the sand.
International players are way different from others.
Twisted Minds do have an outpost in Shudo off towards that eastern side, which they can regroup on. It's just this open zone in front of them, which is quite hard to pass. Definitely a stage 4 circle on this one, John. It is nice for a lot of teams. We move further up over towards Power Grid, confirming on basically. It is
बात अच्छी तो है लेकिन उनको भी थोड़े चाहिए कि मतलब किल पॉइंट्स चाहिए भाई अपने विदाउट उसके भी नहीं चलेगा अपने दोनों मेंटेन करके चलेंगे तो बहुत सही चलेगा एक पे अपन डिफेंस देके नहीं चल सकते
and see how well you can break through as well. Because it is always
Yeah, I
tough to
see.
wait until the last moment.
भाई सुख किधर चला गया? चलो जोन तो है, जोन तो मतलब निकल जाएगा, लेकिन अरे यार ये पूरा हिल ही नहीं है। ये पूरा हिल ही नहीं है। यहाँ पे जो भी आ जाएगा ना, यहाँ पे जो भी आ जाएगा उसको यहाँ पे मतलब अपनी अपनी टीम में हिल स्पॉट करके ना उसको बीच है। डायरेक्टली स्पॉट करके मार देंगे।
Nuclear zone.
Direct marking,
You've got
direct marking.
True Rippers, E-Arena even on the east side, all cut out by this circle. And in stage 4, you expect maybe one or two more to be more central. Not to be though. Everybody's going to have to make that crash.
Yeah, we're playing out to open zone now. I think for Geek as well as Boars, slightly easier as well.
Suk, no! Suk, finish! Last!
They have to be very clean on their shots though. Well played to the Flash, crabbing a lot of those shots over towards Waybot as they look to make their move out from that western side. Beached basically in that car.
Class!
Trying to get himself
Hydro?
but it is a tough time.
Class Hydro, एक knock दिया Hydro.
On the outskirts here.
अरे यो.
Shots out towards ETSH, but this is from Hero in the blue zone.
भाई TR का दिखाओ ना भाई, TR का दिखाओ भाई, TR का भी fight हो रहा है.
To allow them to move further into this one. Twisted Minds holding with 3, and ETSH cannot make it anyway through there.
अरे जली नो हो गया.
Be carrying on into this match, but
जली नो हो गया यार, जली नो हो गया.
this fight.
अभी एक एलिमिनेशन पॉइंट तो लिया अपन ने, लेकिन जली नो हो गया.
Hero, the 2 players remaining on their side, Order just about to start dipping into
जली नो हो गया यार. उसको रिवाइवल मिलना चाहिए.
in front of them. They're not taking shots.
ये ऑर्डर है, ये ऑर्डर है.
Just found an opening that
गाड़ी धोखा दे दी.
That's so unfortunate.
गाड़ी.
The topple on the vehicle, that will
Eliminated, team eliminated.
yeah, he's not getting out of there. Unfortunate, but
DRX still have a chance.
DRX, they're able to pick
भाई डायरेक्ट पुश ऑन आ गया. भाई अरे फूटा क्यों नहीं? अरे फूटा क्यों नहीं?
But it's True Rippers holding off versus Nuclear Zone.
बहुत बढ़िया. What?
On the nade there, but it back straight backwards over towards the body.
एक बाकी है. अरे यार एक बाकी उसको फिनिश कर दो. एक मारो. दो बाकी है, दो आ गए.
That's what you'll take those, right? You take the wins where you get them. True Rippers now. Harsh looking to step up and a lot of damage done already. But
बढ़िया बढ़िया एक बाकी है. एक ही बाकी है.
That doesn't matter though. He's ready for it. That's the spray down around the
अरे नहीं यार नहीं. मार दे हाइड्रो. अरे हाइड्रो.
He spots the ankles, cannot sweep them. But they're able to stay alive, but he's just going to continue to have this position chomped down on by Turney K, by E-Arena on their outpost. They're back to their old tricks blank. They're playing the edge.
That's a classic for Heater play right there. Guy's a bit of a clutch maestro when it comes down to it. But you're right, E-Arena having oversight on this means that he is almost definitely done for. As soon as he moves out in this vehicle, it's straight into the swing by here. If E-Arena don't finish him off, the blue absolutely will. We are getting our next shift on the circle here as Burmese Ghouls continues to hold out that lovely bit of high ground over towards the west.
Easy fight था यार, उसने अच्छा खेला भी था जिसने वो शॉटगन से मारा.
Discover.
हो सकता था ये अपना काम.
Playing. Taking a while though. It's like budget Hercule Poirot.
3 eliminations मिल गया.
Not like that though.
कौन सी है?
What, Benoit Blanc?
जोन से नहीं मारी भी है.
That's the one. That's for Heater.
I'm not French though.
तो अगर वो नेट लैंड हो जाता ना, अगर वो नेट लैंड हो जाता ना, इनका काम था
It's got that southern North American drawl, you know. That's some real New Orleans with it. Very uncertain where that accent all comes from. But anyway, let's get back into the game because Team Flash, they sped right into the middle of this one, Blank. They somehow managed to get through a lot of the teams around the southwest side. They have just taken 2 knocks and flashes though. We've actually moved over to that area. That's a nice little pick up there. Dominant position into this circle. Having a very good time. Hot drop at the start of Miramar. Get into a good position. Wow.
This is great from Twisted Mind. I know this one. Max Van told me about this. It's Le Roté de Bleu. Very weird weird. Doesn't make much sense. Not sure why it happened. But Twisted Minds essentially sail off into the distance, into the storm, never to be heard from again.
Oh well.
Option.
There they go.
Empty.
Into the never-ending storm of waiting for the next match. Regnum Kaya, 2 elims now. On the western side, they've been chilling for a while. As we've seen them in this location for a very, very long time. You can see they're looking up at the mountain that the Burmese ghouls currently sit on and thinking, wow, how are we going to deal with this? This is nasty. We'll have to wait and see what they've got up their sleeve, what tricks they can apply on that western edge. North side, Influence Rage are going to have to go for a run out, and E-Arena are bolstering their forces to try and stop it.
Rage, center of the tops, E-Arena, kind of the nemesis of the lobby right now is Influence Rage for them. It's always these moments unfold. Between 2 squads, both just as good as each other, but a lovely nade over the top. That was to airburst early. Damage just leaves E-Arena on a 3 versus 4. Wrap around the side. 2 players from Influence Rage getting a lot of damage done.
Oh, a little bit of score.
Bro!
It felt like 2 players were trying to step forward to the rest of them. 2 players though, 3 players now down, and it's all up to Turney K to turn it around. 3 reses potentially there, but they need to crawl fast. They need to crawl forwards. There's off angles coming through, and of course it's Arcred chiming in with a third party on the arena with just
Indy.
and the rest
Indy for them.
But now Arcred are on the surround. Our top 2 teams tumbling blank, taking the tussle.
Indy
Here to close it out.
Zone shift.
I think that if you are E-Arena,
Bro, ये zone. अरे यार.
Does a huge amount of work, and I think if he had an
पूरे हिली रीजन में गया है भाई, जो पूरा हिली रीजन में गया है जो. अबे किलपिट क्या चल रही है? किलपिट देखो ना, धड़ाधड़ किलपिट चलती रहती. अलग लेवल है यार किलपिट का इधर. किलपिट अलग ही लेवल पे चलती है.
Seems like a consistent thing, losing these engagements when it comes down to it.
Hey, जो भी chat में like and subscribe करो सर, channel को like and subscribe करो.
Not right now though, they're down on 1 player themselves. It's actually a lot of influence coming through from Alliance, from Flash as well. Across the way, there's caused so many problems. But Wild is still in action for Regnum Kaya.
हाँ सर.
Is that the last? No, it isn't. As it is going to be still.
Bro, crazy भाई. Crazy. अच्छा मारा ये.
He's going to be able to stand back up. The top QXC though, he's still got some fight left in him. He is now guaranteed the last player. Regnum Kaya fell. In the meantime, they tried blank to push up towards that north side, towards DRX. The approach was okay, but there's just so many teams still alive in stage 6 and in this area. Maybe that's what's happening, right? The teams are just getting so choked in by the surrounding, by teams not wanting to go for the fight. But when they do have to, everybody is immediately on it.
Yeah, a really good clutch there coming through from.
अभी भी 7 टीम बाकी है, 18 प्लेयर बाकी है.
I really felt like it was.
और जोन देखो ना, अरे वो टाइम पे उतरा था यार, टाइम पे उतरा था. टाइम पे उतरा था, मतलब उसको मारने उसको थोड़ा रही.
I think so. Arcred's playstyle and
टाइम पे उतरा था यार, अच्छा उतरा मेरे पास लेने वाला था कि तब तक ये फ्लैश में तो चमकाई है.
Some of the time, right? It's not a consistent. If you don't get those opportunities with third parties, or you're not in the right spot at the right time.
भाई बीजी के पूरे 4 प्लेयर है, गीक के भी 4 प्लेयर है. गीक तो 1 किल चाहिए अपने से ऊपर जाने के लिए, मतलब 1 पॉइंट चाहिए बस अपने से ऊपर जाने के लिए गीक को. ये क्या चल रहा है? मस्त चल रहा है.
There's a big chance that then it just doesn't work in the grand finals.
इन्फो ले रहा है. नहीं मतलब इक्विपमेंट मत ले ना. इन्फो क्या ले रहा हो? खुद के लिए ले सकता है इन्फो की कहाँ प्लेयर है, इसमें कहाँ जा सकता है सब.
From that team.
It might see them into last.
ARC का एक प्लेयर और उधर है, वो स्पॉट कर लेगा तो मार देगा.
Jimmy tumbling down for Alliance. They had a really big game earlier on Erangel.
Bro, अच्छा तू.
leapfrog
बचा तू
approach towards the top spot towards the end of the day here, playing as well as the tables are likely to be closing down, fairly similar to this from that first down to 6th place, depending on what Flash can do
नेट
here.
फूटेगा लग रहा है नहीं बचा बचा मेरे को लग रहा था नेट फूटेगा
Than we saw from Group
भाई भाई
things to get interesting.
थोड़ा सा
Not going to find it on the bounce.
थोड़ा सा
They finally take a knock, and they've been holding on this high ground for a long while. Maybe they're getting too bold, but that should be very resible. They've got the plateau.
भाई गीक को पॉइंट ही मत दे दो गीक को पॉइंट ही मत दे दो अरे यार
And the balls are
मिल गया
just the one player.
चल तो हम 10 पे है 10th पे
Ooh, okay. Way overextended there for Burmese.
10th पे 10th पे
Yeah, there's so many places on top of that where or just throw down the smoke. I think you expend utility at that point to get that res for free. I think Burmese throws away
गया बोला गया
just on some pretty early
5 teams 14 players
dangerous peaks and a
क्या लगता है
careless res there as
चिकन कौन
well.
लगेगा
You are having a player looking to move
गीक क्यों लग रहा है कि मेरे को लग रहा है गीक लेके जाएगी वो चिकन मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है
underneath now also looking
क्योंकि ऑल मैन स्टैंडिंग है ना कैजुअलिटी नहीं है उन लोग को ऑल मैन स्टैंडिंग है तो पूरा एडवांटेज है उनके पास
I mean, you could just see it was completely
ऑल मैन स्टैंडिंग का
angle. They should have known that.
बीजी के बाद बीजी का लेकिन एक नॉक है
And it's completely safe, yeah. It's nasty stuff, but they do manage to get across, start that resing protocol. Unknown as well, spots win, in fact, off in the distance.
एक प्लेयर नीचे है वो
Being in this position, Havlik has to push up. Yeah, he's seen him now. With a shotgun in hand, can't really take that challenge, but does drop the smoke, swap the weapon.
Bro, क्या था ये?
That's exactly what was needed. Unknown.
ये नहीं मैंने एक्सेप्ट किया था.
But that's going to leave them down a player. And Yatka from that high ground, not really going to be able to do too much about it. Unknown really isolated himself into that. Could not win the fight against Havlik, who had 0 cover.
अलग सीन यार उसका नॉक नहीं समझा मेरे को
whole thumb across the screen there.
जो भी मारा
really whiffed the spray entirely.
भाई जोन शिफ्ट करो जोन श्रिंक भी हो रहा है शिफ्ट मतलब वही
from Burmese goals.
जोन श्रिंक हो रहा है.
I also look like he's very.
भाई पूरे हिली रीजन में जोन मारा पूरे हिली रीजन में जोन मारा.
Taking that fight versus Havlik. I think it's very obvious.
पूरा हिली रीजन.
The player isn't super confident in their gun
इधर
skill.
शिफ्ट हो रहा है अब ये जोन सबसे ज़्यादा मैटर.
They start to look like that, which, like you say, it was very twitchy.
भाई कैसा जोन बना यार ये तो मतलब हेलो भाई सोच के परे है मेरे ये ऐसा जोन बन रहा है.
At the moment, I feel like Arcred maybe have the better spot in this circle right now. I would give it to Burmese Pythons, ghouls.
स्टेज 8 में 5 टीम है 13 प्लेयर बचे क्या है.
If they hadn't just done something like that.
एक और प्लेयर है फिर फ्लैश का एक और प्लेयर. अबे उसने डॉज क्या ही डॉज किया भाई उसने बहुत अच्छा डॉज किया.
They have been generally a lot more impressive from playing the higher range off angles, and I think this is exactly what they're going to be looking for here. And into the Burmese ghouls, I think they have the approach better than any other team. GK really trapped and crunched.
हॉस्पिटल को पता नहीं कि उधर कार किधर बनता है शायद. पता नहीं उसको भी शायद कार किधर बन रहा है. हाँ अभी नोट से कोई इसको लग जाएंगे. पुशअप जाएंगे उसको गेम को.
That's the thing. It's a real animal.
नहीं जा अंदर जा अंदर जाएगा भी क्या. ऊपर से वो खड़ा इधर से खड़ा दोनों जैसे ही दिखे वैसे मार देंगे. ब्रो मेरे को लगा ले लिया उसने सामने वाले ने मारा. 4 teams 11 players.
Again, this time around it's up against Win, who does win and lives up to his name. So
इसके बाद स्टेज 9 चालू हो रहा है. लेकिन गीक मेरे को लग रहा था लेकिन अब गीक का मेरे को डिसएडवांटेज है कि वो लोग नीचे हैं उनके पास रीच का एडवांटेज नहीं है. और ये लोग पूरा रीच का एडवांटेज लेके बैठे ऊपर बैठे और 2 टीम ऊपर बैठी. बीजी भी बैठी है एआरसी भी बैठी है 2 टीम बैठी है.
It's so weird to me, like Burmese ghouls have been playing on this high ground for so long, yet seem to have the least amount of control over it. The fact that Arcred's got up and the position they were in, so confusing to me. But this is good old-fashioned gameplay. And I'm much more impressed with the way Arca is playing out this end game.
And on the high ground, yeah, they've got the center of the circle now. GK are doing pretty good to find inroads here, though. Towards the higher ground, towards those slightly more accessible areas.
No, what happened? No.
Ragnarok wants to be an elevator for the rest of the team in the buggy, but Win is there. Oh dear. And there's off angles from the Burmese ghouls up on high. We do still have a horse.
Geek one player now. अबे विन वहाँ पे कहाँ से आके बैठा था? वो विन वहाँ पे कैसे आके बैठा था?
Burmese ghouls.
उन लोगों के बाजू में बीजी भी है ना? अब बीजी के बाजू में ARC भी है ना? ये अलग सीन है यार, अलग है। गीक का तो समझो जोन से ही गेम खत्म हुआ।
Stepping up, I mean, with Ichi down,
गीक का गेम तो जोन से ही खत्म हुआ भाई। ये तो लगा
goes in to play an extra player for Arc Red on this approach. The fact that Geek
नहीं ऊपर पहुंचे यार ऊपर। अब ARC वर्सेस बीजी चल रहा है। ARC मारी बीजी को।
major threats sent their way. GK are small. They're getting the reses here, Blank. Arc Red get rid of the Burmese ghouls, but
hashtag killing बीजी मतलब दो टीम बाकी। ARC वर्सेस गीक। गीक का एक प्लेयर नॉक, केविन नॉक। हार्ड बॉय।
and another shot over the top would do it.
ARC चिकन ना? ARC चिकन? I think so. ARC chicken.
It's a nade. Coming
ARC chicken.
Easy for Bad Boy to do so much.
ARC chicken. ARC chicken.
Also, why don't you take some of Lim's offers as
well?
well?
Day one बहुत अच्छा है मेरे हिसाब से. For our team and for other teams, for both, day one was good.
I think they need to step it up going into tomorrow.
Day one was really very good. अच्छा गया आज का दिन, टीआर के लिए भी अच्छा गया, टॉप 10 है, 10th पोजीशन पे अच्छा है। कल और मेहनत करेंगे तो मतलब और हो सकता है अपना। 2 दिन है, 2 दिन में अपने को टॉप 3 आने का, और अभी पॉइंट्स बफर पॉइंट डिफरेंस मतलब बढ़ते जा रहा है। तो वही है, वो अपने को जितना जल्दी अपन कवर करेंगे ना अच्छा रहेगा। जेली को और थोड़ा करना पड़ेगा, जेली करेगा ना तो हो जाएगा, जेली करेगा ना तो हो जाएगा। उसने जिस हिसाब से गेम प्ले किया है ना, अभी स्टार्टिंग के 2 मैच में 14-15 पोजीशन पे था भाई। लास्ट के मैच में वो ला के बंदे ने ला के खड़ा कर दिया हम लोग को 10th पोजीशन पे। अभी तो #2 एक मैच में, तो अच्छी बात है भाई। चलो गाइस, आज के लिए बस इतना ही। मैं मिलूंगा आपको कल एक नई स्ट्रीम के साथ। फिर से हम लोग वॉच पार्टी करेंगे, मतलब कल भी वॉच पार्टी होगी। Day 2 ऑफ ग्रुप रेड। कल होपफुली टीआर से बहुत उम्मीद है कि एटलीस्ट वो टॉप 5 आ जाए। कल टॉप 5 आएंगे तो बहुत क्रेजी रहेगा, अपने लिए अच्छा रहेगा, अच्छा सीन रहेगा एकदम। क्या बोलते हो? बराबर ना? बराबर। चलो मैं मिलता हूँ आप लोग से कल एक नई स्ट्रीम के साथ अच्छे से। कल टाइम पे आऊंगा, कल 4 बजे तक स्ट्रीम ऑन कर दूंगा मोस्टली। थोड़ा और तो कुछ बाकी नहीं है, तो मिलता हूँ मैं आप लोगों से कल। तब तक मेरे को याद रखना, और कल मेक श्योर टू ज्वाइन ऑन माय स्ट्रीम। आज भी एक अपना अच्छा अचीवमेंट हो गया कि अपने 100 सब्सक्राइबर्स हो गया, उल्टा 112 हो। तो जो जिन लोग ने भी स्ट्रीम ज्वाइन की उनके लिए थैंक यू सो मच, इट मीन्स अ लॉट टू मी। और आज के लिए बस इतने, गुड बाय।